Ah, 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 ah. What's going on, brothers? What is going on? Who is here? Who is here, brothers? Who is here? Type on one in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Mayday, Mayday, check 1 2, check 1 2. Who's here? Y'all good? Y'all with me? Who's here? Ninja in the cut. Kit Gang in the cut. Who else is here? Sammy in the cut. Let's get everyone in. It's gonna be, oh man, it's gonna be a stream for the ages. It's gonna be a stream for the goddamn ages. But let me know if you're here with me. Let me sort out Rumble as well. What's happening with Rumble? Why we're not streaming on there right now? Let me sort that out real quick. All right, who's here, man? If you can hear me, type of one in the chat. Dark Ronin in the cut, my superstar mod. Ronin in the cut. Let's go. Who else is here, man? So let me try and fix this Rumble stream. Give me a second, please. All right. Aside, you can see on the screen. Okay, I'll be teaching Python again in November this year. So the signups for that will open up on the 1st of November. All right. So 1st November, book your slot, pay the fees. There'll be all the intel will be out on the 1st of November. Okay. And of course, I will announce that. All right. So get ready for that. It's going to be a great course. If you're in Theo's course, you should be doing my course as well, because Python and AWS go very well together. All right. So 1st November, we're gonna open up signups. All right. And if you obviously registered your interest, I will email you directly with all the details. All right. So who else is here? How's my audio though? Is my audio good? Type of one in the chat. My audio is clean, crisp, and concise. Let me just try and fix this Rumble stream in a minute. Give me a second, please. Let me fix that. Okay, because we need to be streaming on every platform, man. It's gonna be a banger of a stream. All right. So I'm just fixing my Rumble stream right now. Give me a second, please. It should be live, but you know, the powers that be. You see, I'm pretty sure I saw this out earlier today, but the powers that be, they don't want the intel that I'm about to drop about America to be out there. Because guess what? This is part one. There'll be 4 parts, right? Where I expose America. Okay. But aside from that, right? Okay. Let's get straight into it. All right. Let's get straight into it. So, brothers, okay. The title of this stream, okay, is called "This is a Real Life Walking Dead: Exposing New York, America, Part 1." Okay, the first of a 4-part series where I'm touring around America and I'm going to expose what I'm seeing in this country. Now, you're wondering why, okay, IP, out of all countries in the world, why go to America? Why America, bro? And that's a fair question. You're probably all wondering that, all right? Now, I've always wondered, right, just how bad America was. Now, as a UK brother, we know it's better in the UK over there in the UK. I talk about my experiences all the time in the UK. But obviously, throughout the years, American brothers have joined the channel, right? And they've been talking about their experiences, okay? Their experiences with life, dating, the whole 9 yards in America. And I've always wondered, right, in the last 5 years, I gotta see what's happening in America. Is it true what brothers are saying? So I said to myself recently, right, I've got some free time, right? I'm also gonna be remote working abroad as well. Why not go to America, IP? Just go to America and check out what's really happening there. Confirm what brothers are really saying is true out there in America. Okay. And I bought my ticket, and obviously New York. New York is the first of a few cities where I'll be dropping Intel on. The other cities, right? I won't tell you now. Okay. Intel's coming on those cities very soon. All right. But New York, New York, New York, New York. And you know, and when I talk about New York, right? I know on my channel, we got a lot of brothers who are from New York on this channel. Type of one in the live stream chat if you're from New York, if you're from NY, Brooklyn, Dumbo, the Bronx, Manhattan, doesn't matter, right? If you're from New York or near New York, can you type on one in the live stream chat? I know the New York gang is heavy on this channel, bro. You see? Type of one in the live stream chat. D May in the cut. Ninja, do you have any more New York people in the chat over here? Brooklyn, what's up? Brooklyn, Marcy, type of one. All right. So New York was a city where I kept seeing on my channel where brothers are like, I'm from NY and it's terrible out here, IP. And I'm thinking, okay, America, what's happening over there? Because when we compare New York, right, I heard that New York is a very multicultural city, right? You know, it's very, you know, open towards black people, right? So they say. And they always compare New York to London, saying that New York is the most multicultural city in America. So even though I'm expecting it to be bad, right? My experiences were beyond bad. Oh my goodness, right? To the point where in my first video, I called New York hell because it really is hell. It really is hell on earth. Let me break it down in this live stream because today we're going to crash out as well. I got a lot of info about New York that I want to share, brothers. Again, this is my experience as a British brother. Okay. And of course, you all can call in later on and confirm or disagree. This will be an open calling show, right? So I touched down in New York. I kid you not, right? I look left, right, forward, and center. Why the hell? And this is the first point that I want to break down. Why the hell is there so much homeless black men and people in this city? That was my first thought. And I know that sounds crazy, but I kept seeing homeless black people everywhere coming up to me. I would see them near 7-Elevens, opening doors for people on the streets. You literally walk down, right, a whole street and see homeless black people on the left and right and right of the pathway. And I'm thinking, what is going on here? So you know what I did, right? I went on Google and I typed in, right, what's the actual demographics of New York City by race? Okay, you know, I'll bring it up as well, you know, because again, in this stream, we're going to set it straight. Dating, we're going to speak about that. The woman, the culture, the rudeness, how black people are living there, dating culture. New York is truly hell on earth. All right. So let me bring it up, right? Racial demographics of New York City. New York City, because that's like 8 million people, right? So I'll bring it up, right? Okay, let me bring it up. So data USA. Okay, so hold on. 17% poverty rate. Effing, what the hell's gone on in New York? All right, hold on, right? So let me bring it up real quick, right? So let's see. Can I get the actual race breakdown? Okay, hold on. 2 million. Oh, okay, I got it. I got it. Is it New York State or New York City? I think New York State makes more sense. New York State. Right? New York State makes more sense than New York City. So let me get the racial background of that. Okay, let me see. Okay, hold on, right, brothers. I'm just getting a few things right. Okay, I got it. All right. So let me share my screen, right? Okay, let me share my screen. uh, share screen. Share screen. Share screen. Okay, so here is New York demographics, right, by race. Okay, you got white people, right, who make up just over 50%. Hispanics just under 20%. Black people 13%, right? Asians 9.5%. So that's quite a lot of black people in New York. So tell me why left, right, and center, all I see is homeless black people. In fact, the amount of homelessness I saw in New York is the most I've seen in my entire life. I'm comparing it to places I've been to in Germany, in the UK, in Japan, in Panama. I have never seen that much homeless people in my life in New York. And I've never seen that much homeless black people ever in my life. So if the overall population, so if the majority of the population in New York is white people, why did I not see hardly any homeless white people? Why did I not see hardly any homeless Asian people or Hispanics? Why are most of the homeless people or black people? That's the first thing that shocked me there. So it tells me that, yo, this city is a racist city. Let's keep her a buck. And there's some heavy, what do you call it, social economic problems plaguing black men in New York. That was my first thinking over there. Type a 1 in the chat if you agree with my statement there. The homelessness amongst black men in New York is off the flipping chain. Could not believe it. And the fact that there was even worse. I saw a lot of mentally ill, homeless black people in New York, talking to themselves, doing crazy stuff. Oh my goodness, it was so sad to see. It was so sad to see. So you're telling me New York is this multicultural haven, everyone's welcoming, everyone's here, Chinese, blah blah blah, black, white, etc., etc. I don't give a damn about multiculturalism, if I'm honest with you. If black people ain't living well, there's no point. There's no point living in a multicultural city if black people are not living well. From what I saw in New York, black people ain't living well over there in New York. Now I'm in a different city right now, okay, and it's kind of similar. I won't tell you which city, right? But again, homeless black people is a thing. What is going on? What is going on in New York City? If the majority of the population in New York is white people, why don't I see homeless white people? Listen, I hardly saw any homeless white people. And I know that sounds crazy, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So that tells me that, okay, number one, there's some crazy social economic problems in New York that is affecting black people. So that's the first thing I want to expose about New York, because there's this over here, over in the UK, right? They think of New York as, Broadway, fashion, you know, Manhattan, Soho, Brooklyn. Bruv, when I was in New York, all I saw was zombies everywhere. Zombies everywhere. Zombies everywhere. So that's the first thing I wanted to expose about New York. Okay. Now, let's go on to another part. And the dating part, I'm going to save to last. So that's going to shock you, right? Okay. The people of New York, okay, are very unfriendly, rude people. In fact, I have never come across that much unfriendly, rude people in my life. I'm keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it 100, bro. The people of New York are very unfriendly, rude, narcissistic, look down on people, to the point where I'm thinking, what's going on here? When I ask people for help, for I couldn't find a place, I was ignored, or I was told, I don't know, I'm sorry. And bear man, I'm a clean cut brother. I dress well, come across well, and the energy I got from them was so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Like, who do you think you are? It's one thing saying, sorry, I'm busy, I can't help you out. But it's the fact that it's the it's the arrogance that comes with it. I'm New Yorker. Why are you talking to me? I'm New Yorker. Why are you talking to me? Brother, I'm telling you, the people of New York, nasty people, bro. Nasty. Across Manhattan, Brooklyn. I went to Dumbo as well. Some other spots I can't remember. I tried talking to people about life there. Tried to get some interviews. Tried to ask about, hey, I'm lost. Can you help me out here? Hardly any help me out. Just a very few. A very few. And that was across white people, Latinos, Latinas, Asians. Oh my goodness! Don't let me get started on Asians, bro. Don't let me get started on Asians, man. And I'm gonna break it down, bro. What I saw there with the Asian woman. All right. Um, it was like black people. Majority of them, right, will speak to you, right. But I know that already because I'm black. I'm black. There's a common, we share some commonalities there. But there were some bougie brothers and sisters I met in New York, right? That just weren't rocking with me, and it is what it is, right? So the people of New York overall, like some of the most not nice people I've ever met in my entire life. I'm keeping it a buck. So that's two strikes. I'm thinking, how do people live here? No wonder New York brothers are becoming passport bros. No wonder, right? And it came to a point where, like, some of them were really aggressive. Like, why are you talking to me? Like, they had the face like they're ready to fight you if you carried on talking to them, bro, bro. Like, like take whatever is up behind it and pull it out. Just because you're in New York City working a high fancy job, don't mean you're better than me or anyone else. I feel like New York people have they feel like they're superior to other people. Well, guess what? Everyone dies, right? If you get something horrible, right, in your body, in your life, I guarantee you won't care about your job or how much money you got. So humble yourself. A lot of New York people, they're not humble, bro. And I don't give a damn if you're from Manhattan, you live in Manhattan, you live in Dumbo, Soho. At the end of the day, you're a human being. And I will not respect anyone that looks down on me, bro. So imagine a humble brother, right? Making his way up to the top. He's cool. He's a nice guy. That's what he's got to deal with. That's what he's got to deal with in New York. So that's strike two, right? That I did not like about New York City. The people, some of the most rudest people I've ever met in my entire lives. Okay. So now let's talk about strike three, racism. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. New York City is one of the most racist places I've ever been to in my entire life, particularly against black men. And let, let me break down into different aspects here. Number one, I saw a lot of disenfranchised looking black people. I'm keeping it a buck. I didn't see much brothers in suits. I didn't see brothers who I thought were doing well in life. I saw bummy looking brothers. You already know. I saw homeless looking black men. But I saw a lot of rich looking white people, Asians, right? Latinos, Latinas. It felt like the most bummy people in that city was black people, particularly black men. I'm keeping up, but I didn't see a lot of like World Street brothers. I didn't meet a lot of World Street brothers in New York. I didn't see it. I'm keeping it a buck. And that's supposed to be a population where it's multicultural. There's a lot of history behind, black people in that city. But I felt like a lot of like there's structural barriers for black people in that city or that state. I'm keeping it a buck. Like I didn't feel like a lot of black people had, high flying jobs. And you see online where people say, I'm in New York, I'm in finance, I'm black or in tech. I didn't see that. I'm keeping it a buck. I didn't see it. Now within the race topic, right? I also felt like I got weird looks from people of all races there in New York. For example, right, I was in Manhattan, right? I'm strolling through, and the looks that people were giving me were weird looks, disgusting looks. Looks like, why is this black guy over here? And I got it from white people. I got it from Latin people. And let me talk about. Let me break it down for you, all right? Latin people in New York, bro, they're not our brothers or sisters, man. And that's why I don't agree with this POC unity or all that nonsense. Oh, they're black and brown pride or all that nonsense or collision. F that nonsense, man. Because a lot of these non-white, non-black people, right? They look down on us, bro. I got a lot from Asian people, right? They were looking at me weird as well. I'm like, what's this? What is going on? I'm walking through Manhattan, which is a wealthy area. It's all white people or Asians, no black people. It's all white people and Asians, no black people. And there were two instances of racism that I experienced in New York. I explained it in my first video that I dropped. I'm walking down the street. Ahead of me is this Latina woman and her white boyfriend or husband. Of course, he's white. A lot of those women white worship. So she looks back, looks at me again, and starts tapping her pockets. And you know what's funny, right? What she was wearing had no pockets. So I'm like, what are you doing? Then she grabs the bag tight, squeezes it. Then she whispers in her boyfriend's ear. He looks back. I'm thinking, I'm not dressed badly, right? I'm just walking down the street. Is that a crime now? As a black man for walking down the street? What's going on? I was a clean cut brother, dressed well, right? Just clean cut. And they give me that look. You know what I did? I stared them in their eyes, bro. Like, say something or do something, bro. And at one point, I really wanted to put up a middle finger, but they turned right and I walked straight ahead. Don't play me at this point in time. Don't play me. We have to fight fire with fire, bro. Racism's on the rise. You ain't gonna get me. I will fight you. I will fight you back. Don't test me. Because I know my character, my credentials. I'm not no thug. I'm not no pookie. So don't effing try me, bruv. So that's the first instance of racism that I experienced in New York. Number two, right? I'm in this area in New York, and I'm standing taking pictures, right? And there's this white woman, right? She's sitting down. She looks back. She notices me. Looks forward. Looks back again. Looks forward. Looks back again. I'm thinking, say something. Say something then. And then you know what she does, right? She grabs a bag and grabs it close. Looks at me again, looks forward. I'm like, you dumb bimbo. That's New York for you, bro. New York. That's why don't feel sorry for these people who don't care about you. At this point in time, right? Brothers need to be cold-hearted. You don't know me. So those were my personal experiences with racism in New York City. But when I look at it from a whole picture, I don't think black people are doing too good in that city, man. I don't think they are. I didn't see high class black people. I didn't see bougie black people. Hardly any. I saw some here and there, but I feel like the black people that I saw were struggling, bro, or going through some crazy stuff, homeless, mental health. But New York City is supposed to be a liberal city, multicultural. But you know what's funny, right? Everyone, everything is liberal for everyone, but black people. Type of two in the chat if you know what I mean. So Latin people, oh, stop ICE, care for them, keep them in our country. Rainbow people, you know what it is with them, right? Indians, Chinese. But when it comes to black people, where's that love? Because guess what? I didn't get no love in New York City or New York, whatever you want to effing call it, bro. I didn't get no love. All I saw was a bunch of people giving me weird looks, and in many cases, right, I felt like I was in the scene of The Walking Dead. A bunch of zombies walking around. A bunch of zombies walking around. It felt like a goddamn dystopia. It felt like a goddamn dystopia. And that city is cooked, if I'm honest with you. And I see why brothers got their passports and said, F that city, I'm out. And I can't believe, oh, the subways. Don't let me get started on the subways, bro. Dirty, mismanaged, smelly. I see why brothers are saying, I'm out the city. I'm out. Somehow New York is worse than the UK. And the UK is pretty bad, but I feel like, yeah, I could never live in New York. I couldn't do it. Because guess what? On to the next point, right? The social aspects. The social aspects. I felt like people were not even social in that city. So if the social aspect isn't there, how do you meet women? How do you form connections? You simply don't. It's a very cold area, a very cold place. I don't know how anyone can, in their right mind, be living there. How are you doing it? How? How are you doing it? How? Damn. Also, right, that place is expensive as hell. Expensive for what you get. For what you get, it shouldn't be that expensive, bro. So you're getting ripped off. There's no social life there. You're in a very weird spot where black people are definitely oppressed in that city. What the hell do you do? Now, let's go on to dating. Actually, before I even touch upon dating, right? Let's talk about Latina women. Latina women, I got a very special segment for them. Why Latina women? Why not Asian women, IP, or white women, bro? Now, I don't know about you, brothers, right? But type a 5 in the live stream chat, right? Type a 5 if you agree with me. There's always been this internet saying that, yo, the Latinas in NY, in New York, they love black men. They love brothers. Yo, those Latina mammies, they're checking for us in New York. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, particularly Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all that, that of that ilk in New York, right? Oh, they love black men. They love us. They're checking for us. I kid you not. There's over 60 people watching this live stream right now, right? I did not see a single black man with a Latina in New York. And I was confused because I was expecting to see Latinas with brothers. Because when I saw on the forums, right, on the internet, oh, Latina checking for us, Jennifer Lopez, all that stuff, right? Okay. Diddy, Jennifer Lopez dating back in the day, blah, blah, blah. Oh, black people and Latin people have a connection. There is no connection between black people and Latin people in New York. Stop lying to yourselves. In fact, I don't think that they even like each other. I don't think that black people and Latin people like each other in New York, aside from dating. I didn't see Latina women with black men. I'm lost. I was so confused. So I'm on the train. I'm looking around. I'm on the bus. Okay, can I spot a black guy with a Latin chick? Okay. I didn't see it. I saw Latinas with white men. No. Let's keep it a buck. I told you tonight we are going to expose America Part 1, bro. So don't go to New York thinking that you're gonna get your Latina chick from Venezuela or Cuban. They don't rock with us out there, bro. They don't. I kid you not. I'm looking. I remember, right? I spent a whole day staring, looking around. Okay, can I spot a good-looking Latina chick with a black man? I didn't see it. I saw Latina women, right? Mostly with their own men. I saw Latina guys and Latina chicks together, mostly. And if they weren't dating Latin men, they were dating white dudes. I'm keeping it a buck. They were dating white dudes. Type a 5 in the chat if you agree. Like, what are you talking about? Because I was really expecting to see like left, right, forward, and center, black men with Latina women all over the place in New York. I didn't see it. In fact, do you know what I saw? I'll be honest with you. I saw lonely black men all over the place. A common theme that I'm seeing in the UK, in New York, I saw it too. Lonely brothers with no woman, or if they were the woman, right? They were with a black woman, right? Okay. But the black woman that I saw they were with, right? There wouldn't be a woman that I would be interested in, if I'm honest with you. I'll keep it a buck. I saw tattooed black chicks. I saw overweight sisters, unfortunately, tattoos, sisters wearing bonnets. I'm like, I couldn't be with a woman like that. I couldn't. I'm just keeping it a buck. So I'm thinking, where are black men with top-notch black women. I'm sure it was there. I saw it here and there, but for the most part, I didn't really see it. You know what I saw? I saw top-notch black women with white dudes. I'm keeping it a buck. Why is no one even talking about this, bro? So basically, to keep it real with y'all brothers, Latina chicks are not rocking with black men in New York City. I'm keeping it a buck. Do you know who's really winning though in New York City? Do you know who's winning? White men and Asian men. No, no. IP. Talk the truth, bro. Talk the truth, bro. Ain't you doing a tour of America? Ain't you gonna expose the truth? Do you know who's really winning in New York City when it comes to dating? It's white men and Asian men, East Asian men. I saw white men with Asian women, with black women, with white women, and bro, they were happy as hell, bro. Living life. In fact, I didn't see one miserable white man, but I saw miserable black men all over the place, bro. I'm telling you, NY is cooked. NY is cooked. It's a white man's and Asian man's haven. Listen, right? We have D May. We have D May who's actually in NY right now. He's backing me up, brother. You know I'm speaking facts, bro. I wouldn't lie to y'all, motherfuckers. I wouldn't lie to y'all. The happiest man in the if you're gonna live in NY in New York, right? You gotta be a white man first and foremost. First and foremost, you know, and that's why I have lost respect for a lot of women, actually, women in general, throughout the years, because the problem with inequality, racism, has come mostly from white men or white people. Yet, Asian women, white women, Latina women, bougie black women are in New York right now lining up to get a white man, bro. I saw white men all over the place with women of all races. I saw it for Asian men too. I'm keeping a buck. I'm just keeping a buck. NY is not a place to live there, to date there, to be social there. I don't know how you can stay sane and live in NY. How can you do it? It's pretty bad in the UK, right? It's very bad, but it's a whole different world or level in NY. So let me tell you my experiences, right? Let me tell you my experiences personally, right? I got no love in NY. And I know that sounds crazy, right? I got no love from any woman in NY with my accent. And I always use my accent as a selling point, right? Because every man should have a unique selling point, whether it's your dress style, whether it's your haircut, my accent, right? Again, not a lot of black men speak like me. There's only 1 million black British men on planet Earth, bro. We rare, like Pokemon, right? Like a rare goddamn Pokemon. That didn't get me a single date in NY, bro. Oh, it's real bad over there in NY. Real bad. This American tour has been very eye-opening, because America is far worse than I imagine it would be in the past 3-4 years. I'm keeping it a buck, keeping it 100, keeping it a stack. Woman didn't look at me. Woman ignored me. Woman, when they spoke to me, kept it very short. Okay, have a nice day. I'll see you. Okay, have a nice day. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? What is going on? Asian women, they didn't even, in fact, Asian women, they just walked past me, bro. They just walked past me like I wasn't even there. Oh, bro. NY is cooked. NY is beyond cooked. It's not a place you want to be if you're a black man. It's not a place. It's not a place. If you're a Latin man, it could work if you only want to date Latina woman, right? If you're a white guy, it's heaven for white men. If I'm honest with you, I feel like I didn't see any poor looking white men. I saw white men in nice suits, white men who were clearly wealthy with nice watches. I'm kind of sick of seeing that, you know. I want to see black men win, you know. But yeah, obviously the whole game system is set up for the white man to succeed, unfortunately, and it's not fair on us. But that's for a different discussion, you know. Um, White men holding hands with Asian women. Oh, yo, the East Asian women worship for white men is through the roof in America. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. In the UK, right? It's pretty bad in the UK. In America, it's a whole different ball game. East Asian women worship white men to a whole different degree in New York. Left, right, forward, center. I kept seeing white men, East Asian woman couple. I didn't see one East Asian woman couple. I didn't see one East Asian woman with a black man. Not one. I didn't see one Latina woman with a black man. So that tells me that Latinas in New York City also white worship too, bro. So I'm gonna open the phone lines in a bit, right? And we're probably gonna crash out on Kick in a bit. If you're a black man living in New York City in 2025, get the hell out of there. Type a 2 in the live stream chat. If you're from NY, if you have any links to NY, if you normally stay in NY, type a 2 in the chat. I'm telling you, I am pleading to you right now. Get out of that place. That place is a dystopia. That place is so bad. I felt like I was in a bad movie or in a bad dream. This American tour has been very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening. Okay. Now, let me talk about the food in NY. I don't know what they're putting in the food, what kind of chemicals, additives, but the food tastes so damn good, but makes me feel so damn bad. What does that mean? I have put on a lot of weight during my time in America. A lot of weight. Right? And I can't stop eating. And normally I have a lot of good self-control with my food. Right? But in America, I just want more and more and more and more. And that ish right there is demonic. What the hell are y'all putting in your food? Whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Carver, whether it's Chick-fil-A, whether it's 7-Elevens, whether it's having a good Philly cheesesteak, right? Right? You want more. You want more. It's disgusting. I'm telling you, right? America is that country cannot be real. The amount of food options you have, left, right, forward, and center. How does anyone even stay skinny in that country? And no wonder, right? There is an obesity crisis in America. I see it. In fact, I saw the most amount of fat people in America than anywhere else in my life. I didn't see what's it called? Fat people hardly any in Japan, Panama hardly any, Germany here and there, but it's not really a thing. Tenerife, Spain, nope. America, left, right, forward, and center. There's fat people everywhere, bro. Next level, bro. The food in America is so unhealthy and toxic that it can't be right, man. What is going on in that country? What is going on in that country? Please tell me. Please tell me why I can't stop thinking about Carvel or Chick-fil-A. When I had Chick-fil-A for the first time, right, I wanted more and more and more. So it's something they put in the fries and the burgers that, oh man, it's not right. It's not right, bro. It's bad. It's bad. It keeps you having more and more. Even the 7-Elevens, bro. Like, and I've been 7-Elevens in Japan, right? I've been there. Okay. I bought some food there. It is what it is. Tasty, but I didn't want more. I was satisfied. In America, 7-Elevens there. They have burgers, they have beef hot dogs, they have these chicken wings, they have these $1 donuts. I'm like, $1 donut? How is a donut $1? That's like 80 pence in the UK, bro. So unfortunately, yes, I am indulging in a lot of donuts in America. I'm keeping it a buck. $1. And it tastes good. And I feel so bad, but it tastes good, bro. I'm keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck. Type of 5 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, bro. $1 donut, and it's some puffy big donut with glaze ring all around it, or pink, a pink glazing. I'm eating that, bro, every day. I'm addicted to it. And it ain't right, but there's something in the food that makes me want more. I dream about it, bro. I think about it. Bro, the pizza is flames too. And guess what? My belly right now is big, bro. It's popping. It's massive. My face has got a bit fat as well. I'm losing my slim jawline, my slim face. I can't believe this, bro. Oh man. Yo, everything you want when it comes to food is here for you in America. Ice cream, I tried that too. Flames. I tried, was it Philly cheesesteak? Oh my goodness, bro. The Philly cheesesteak, that took me to a whole different galaxy. Oh my goodness, bro. Oh. Yo, this country, right? Yo, it can really mess you up if you ain't got no self-control. This country, right? It can really mess you up if you ain't got no self-control. And unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for how good the food would be. I wasn't, especially in the past 3-4 years. Wasn't prepared. Like, you need to have a lot of self-control to live in this country. You have to, or else it's going to engulf you in its toxic culture, endless food, garbage TV and entertainment. How could anyone live in this in New York City, bro? How? So once again, right, this passport bro movement is everything. This really is a lifesaver. It really is. Because again, I can't see myself living in New York City. They could offer me, right, $200,000 a year, 400K a year. I wouldn't take it. At this point in time, right, a peace of mind, happiness, having a great social life is more important to me than anything. So, okay, so they offer me, some tech job, right, offers me 400K to move to New York City, right? And I found it very boring too. I didn't like Manhattan. I thought that was a boring place. I didn't like Brooklyn. I thought that was boring too. I didn't like Dumbo, boring. Times Square, same tourist traps, tourist spot. At some point in time, right? Remember, you only have one life. You only have one life, right? And you want to live a life that has no regrets. I can't see myself living in New York City, and I know the jobs there pay very well. You can have a great career there. I don't care. I do not care. I don't. I really don't. Man. Oh, flip. Um, let me read the super chats, man. Let me read the super chats. Because again, what shocked me is that I was expecting Latina women, right, to be all over black men in New York City, in New York. I didn't see it. That to me, that was the biggest shock. I grew up looking at rap videos, Jennifer Lopez with P. Diddy, or a bunch of Latinas, right, in Dipset rap videos, Dipset, you know. And I'm thinking, okay. And then I go online, I say, okay, yo, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, they love brothers in New York. I didn't see that, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I didn't see it. Maybe back in the day, but in 2025, I keep saying this right, brothers are losing. I saw a bunch of lonely black men with no woman next to them in New York. Type a 5 in the chat if you agree. Why are there so many lonely black men in New York? Right? There's either homeless black men in New York, or there's lonely black men who have no woman next to them, or there's brothers who are dating low value women. That's what I saw in New York. And I didn't see young looking brothers in suits or high class young looking brothers. I saw a few high class middle aged men, right? 50s, 60s, late 40s. I didn't see young brothers in 20s and 30s balling out, bro. And that's a problem to me. That's a big problem. I didn't see that. And you guys call in. If you disagree with any of my points, right, please call in. If you agree, call in too. New York is a write-off. If you're in that city, get out of the country or move to a different state. I'm hearing that Arizona is good for brothers. I don't think I have time to visit Arizona, right? That's a bit far away. I don't. I think that's impossible right now. Okay, I'm hearing San Diego is good for brothers. So if I do a second American tour in the future, I perhaps may check it out, because America is the centerpiece of the world. So when you tell me IPY in America, I got to experience why it's so bad. Because again, it motivates me and it confirms what you say. So that means it pushes me more to keep on doing this content, right? Getting brothers out there, doing interviews, doing this Python course, get brothers into IT and tech. Yeah, it's real bad in America, bro. It's Michael Jackson bad in America. It's MJ bad, bro. Shout out to Mr. D May in the cut for the support. NY was good in the early 2000s, but now it's a S show. Thailand is home now. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to Theo, man. Brother, are you in Thailand, bro? Well done for leaving New York for Thailand. Yeah. At this point in time, anywhere has been in New York City. Anywhere. Actually, let me think. I've got. Actually, I'll drop a video on that. Maybe tomorrow or on Monday. About the other city that I visited. Actually, there is one city that I feel is all right for black men, but again, I was expecting more based on what I read online, etc., etc. But if I was to live anywhere in America, I'd probably live in this city. But I won't tell you now. It's coming very soon. All right. Shout out to Based Swag for the support. R.I.P. Kyron Lacey. Who's Kyron Lacey, bro? Who's that? Kyron Lacey. Who's that? Okay, hey, RIP to him, man. He self-laid himself from Houston. Hey, RIP to him, bro. Shout out to Mr. Ninja Killer for the support. And brothers are paying 3K a month rent for this. Crazy, bro. It's not worth the money you pay for in NY to be living there. It's not worth the money. Things are crazy expensive, man. In fact, from honest with you, you'll be living in 7-Elevens every day. Like, eating out is expensive. And you know what's even worse, right? You got to tip. Every time you have to goddamn tip. I'm thinking, what's going on? Just raise the prices, right, of the food to pay your employees. Tip this, $15 tip, $20 tip. I'm like, what's this, man? Tip. bro. Have a goddamn minimum wage in that city. The tipping culture is insane in New York, man. You gotta tip for everything, or most things. Tip this, tip that. $15 tip, $20 tip, or 50%, 10%. What? Just raise the prices then of your food. Damn. Flipping heck, bruv. Yo, that place is something else, man. That place is something else. Yo, yeah, so it says here, the food is laced with MSG in America. That chemical makes you gain weight and makes food cravings worse. Brother, I feel it, bro. And you know what, right? I went on a run, went to the gym, and I'm not dropping weight. That's insane, bro. I've hardly dropped any weight. Yo, brothers, America is a never-ending toxic cycle. And shout out to those who have left or are leaving, because it ain't right. Okay, so let me open up the phone lines, right? And I can't wait to crash out and kick in a bit. But let's have a few call-ins, because I really want to speak about the dating culture in NY, bro. Because like I'm so disappointed, man. Like it's I think it's even worse in NY than in the UK. I can't believe I'm saying that, bro. I can't believe I'm saying that. Oh, bro, like it's just white men cleaning up. And once again, if you're a white guy and you're watching my stream, how are you struggling? If you're white, be real with me. Type an A in the live stream chat. Just type an 8 in the live stream chat. I know a couple of white people watch my my stream. So if you're white, just keep it real. Let me know in the live stream chat. How are you struggling to get women in the West or in America? All I saw in NY, I saw tall, short, scrawny looking white dudes, fugly looking white dudes, homeless looking white dudes, right? With women everywhere. Everywhere. This passport movement, right? It's our movement. So East Coast Kev, right? So you're white, all right? How don't tell me you can't get a woman. Don't tell me that. Don't do that. Don't lie to me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't. Oh my goodness! Like it's not only in NY, right? It's also like in other cities I've been to in America. It's just white men cleaning up, and there's one city that really shocked me. I thought brothers will be doing much more better here, but that's coming next week or tomorrow. All right. Again, it's an American tour. We're going to expose America, and maybe I'll give you some minor details about my next tour that I'm going to do very soon. Okay, it's going to be. I tell you, it's a movie right now. Got my laptop, remote working for a bit, and be back on that movement, but back on that grind. All right. So if you want to call in, if you want to call in, phone lines are open. I pinned it in the live stream chat. Call in. I'm sure y'all got a lot to say about NY. AIP white from my city, bro. Blah blah blah, bro. It is what it is, man. It's we live in a globalized world, and it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So call in. Just put the link in the live stream chat. Damn, man, I need to lose this weight, man. This American food is toxic. My belly big. I feel slow. I feel sluggish. I'm like, yo, what's going on, man? Like, I feel fat. I feel sluggish. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I don't feel right, bro. If I'm honest with you, I don't. Like, the food is real toxic, man. And if you don't control yourself, it's over for you. It's over for you. Over. So we have a caller. Jam, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll? It's all black. Are you outside, bro? Is that you? Yeah. All right. Turn your camera off, Jam. You confirmed? Let me bring in Jam in the background, okay? He's all confirmed. He's legit. He ain't no troll, all right? And he's not here to tell me bad American food that's going to make me fatter and obese. What's going on, Jam? You good, bro?
Yeah, no, actually, I got hit by a motorcycle the other day. So, yeah, so you asked about the whole light thing. I can't really move too well. So I was trying to like use my phone light to confirm myself. So I apologize for that. But, yeah, when I saw your video
Brother,
about you going to
sorry, bro. Are you good, though? You got hit by a motorcycle. Are you good? What's happening?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm beat it pretty bad, but I will be good. I just need to like rest a little bit. I think in like 2 weeks or so, I'll start feeling like myself. But it is pretty annoying because it sets me back in a couple things I want to do. But I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm just gonna move on. I'm glad that I'm alive and that I'm not like a paraplegic or something like that. But I did get hit pretty bad though.
All right, brother. We need you on top format again, brother. Hit me up on the email, right? If you want to talk about it further, all right? But hopefully you heal well, brother, and nothing happens to you, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I did see your video about you going to New York, and when I saw that, I mean, oh my gosh, it was. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when I saw the title of you going to New York because I knew exactly what experience you were going to have. And I'm from New York, so when everything you said about New York, I co-sign 100%. It's even worse for you because at least when you're a New Yorker, you know what to expect. Like when you say how people are mean, they're mean mugging and all stuff like that. They're doing that because everyone's scammers and liars, and usually they have bad experience. If someone comes up to you, they're either trying to scam you, they're trying to steal from you. And so people just learn, right, through constant repetition of like bad experience that if someone you don't know comes up to you, right, that is usually not going to end well. So they try to not engage in conversations like that because they know 9 times out of 10 it's not going to end well for them. And so when you bring up all this stuff, and I think you bring up about the white lady looking back at you because you thought you were going to take her stuff or whatever. Well, that actually is pretty common in New York. It's unfortunate, but that's actually pretty common in New York. So when you say things like I understand where you're from, it's not so common. But in New York, that happens all the time. Like I do the same thing. I watch everyone, right? Because people will steal from you. People will try to scam you. It's just unfortunate. It literally. In fact, when you said it was like Gotham City, right? I was like, oh, that is literally the perfect analogy. In fact, I think Gotham City was based on New York. I'm not quite too sure because I'm not a big Batman fan, but I'm pretty sure it was based on New York. Maybe if it wasn't New York or Chicago, but those two cities are pretty similar. And the other thing you mentioned about with the food, right? Yeah, now the food thing. Luckily, I have a pretty strict diet, so I avoid a lot of that stuff. But yeah, everyone mentions this stuff about when you go to America, right? You gain weight so quick. The fact that you gain. I mean, how long have you been in America now?
Well, I've been in America for a couple of days now, bro. And
So you
but I put on 13 pounds now.
Okay, yeah. So I think last time, yeah, you said 11 pounds before, so you gained even 2 more than after that. So like you've only been there for a couple of days, and you've already gained 13 pounds. I mean, if this doesn't let you know, I mean, the first thing that I noticed when I left the States was the quality of food, like the difference. Like I read about this stuff in America, but it's one thing to read about it; it's another thing to actually experience it. Like the amount of preservatives and all the junk food and crap that they put in American food. Like it is real. Like people call Americans fat, and I think there's a reason for that. Like they feed us poison over here, man. When you go to like Europe, or you go to South America, stuff like that, the food quality is much different. It's way better, and people just lose weight naturally. And you go to like New York. New York's a walking city. The average New Yorker walks 5 miles a day, so you can't say something like, "Oh, they're not moving or whatever." No, the food quality in America is messed up, man. You gotta like plan ahead and gotta actively avoid this stuff. And like pretty much eat at home. Like if you dare to eat out and you don't eat at like some health food restaurant, which of course is going to cost twice as much as a regular restaurant, you're going to be screwed. Like for example, eating at McDonald's, like eating the fries at McDonald's in America is completely different than eating the fries in McDonald's, like in South America or like in Brazil, for example. Like they use different oils, they use different preservatives. You feel way heavier eating at McDonald's in America than you do outside of America. I know because I've had both of them.
You know what's funny, bro? Is that so I tried something called Pop Tarts for the first time ever. I was told that, hey, IP, try Pop Tarts. You know, it's a very common breakfast you you have right in America. I'm like, okay, it's common. I bought it, right, and the first thing I noticed that I looked down the packet, I saw a whole bunch of chemicals in there, preservatives, coloring on. What the flip is this? I'm like, okay. I'm on vacation, right? So let me just try it. I'm like, bruv, how the man? Do you know how sweet a Pop Tart is? I'm like, people eat this in the morning. This is like basically just sugar. I was like, what the hell is this? And it tastes so flipping sweet. Like, oh my goodness. I'm like, bro, this is insane. He's eating this in the morning, bro. Pop Tarts. Oh, bruv.
Yeah, I used to love Pop Tarts, man. You know, I can still have them. A few of the flavors are I can still have, but yeah, like the fact that you're saying it's all sweet and stuff. Now imagine now you're coming from a place where it's healthier, right? Where you eat healthier food. Now imagine you come from America and you're used to food tasting this sweet, right? 24/7, and now you're trying to go and eat something that is supposed to be like normal levels of sugar, not too crazy. But you're used to eating food this sweet. You can see how hard it would be to kick that habit, right? So America,
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's just messed up, bro. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm shocked you came. I'm shocked you came to America. I'm like, did you have some business here, or did you just not believe the brothers when we told you that America is effed? Like I'm so shocked that you even decided to come through. Because like I travel. I believe you. I'm not going to the UK. I have no reason to go. Like, I mean, people say I should go to the UK because of food. Like at least for what I like to eat, right? Apparently it's the best in the UK. So maybe one day I'll go there. But like I've heard so much bad things about the UK from brothers, and yourself included. I'm like, I'm just not even going to go. So I'm really shocked that you decided to come out here to America because at least now you know what we ain't lying. Now you know the brothers ain't lying. Now you understand, right? What we dealing with.
Well, I say it in real time, man. It's even worse than what you guys even say. And I'm like to the point where I'm thinking like, how is it possible you lived here your whole life and you ain't feel some type of way? Like the microaggressions, the racism, the social culture, like even the Dane culture, that really got to me. Because basically same in the UK, white man cleaning up, left, right, and center. He's not struggling, he's not suffering. But I see a lot of homeless black men. Too much for me to even fathom, and I'm like, nah, this is just this is a shit hole. That's why I call New York, bro. But it's been a real eye opener, and I'm seeing it in real time that this is not. You don't want to live in this country. You really don't.
Let me ask you, right? Now that you've experienced New York, right? Because I know a lot of times in chats, right, people be arguing which one's worse, London or New York. Now I've been to London, but I've been to London since I've been an adult, so I don't really know, But now you've been to both. So from your short time in New York, right, and then London, like which country? I mean, which city do you think is worse, right, for to be a brother in?
New York is by far the worst city than London. It's not even close. Um, like the homeless black population, I think it's far more ahead than London. I've not been to London in a minute, but when I was there, I didn't see that much homeless black people there. Number two, like the food quality in New York is by far worse than London. The UK in general, a whole bunch of chemicals in American food, New York food, and that 7-Eleven shop, that's the devil right there. $1 donuts, $3 muffins, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been indulging in that, bro. I feel so bad, but it's the chemicals in the food that make you addicted to it. And I've been indulging that every day. I'll keep it a buck, and it's bad. It's bad of me, but it is what it is. Number three, like similar vibe, similar people, but New Yorkers are far more rude, bro. Like you can at least have a conversation with like UK people. They're slightly more kind than Americans, but America, right, bro, it's insane in New York. The rudeness, the entitlement. I can tell they look down on you if you're if you're black as well, not why you're talking to me. That's across all races. Black people, you meet some that are nice, some that are bougie, but when it comes to like Latin, white, particularly Asians, I don't even speak to them. Like it's not gonna happen. They will ignore you. I felt very unsafe in New York. I felt on the edge, bro. I don't know. It's like it really is Gotham. I just feel like I felt uneasy there, bro. I went to certain blocks as well that weren't tourist blocks. I'm like, yo, people live here. Like people really live in these kind of neighborhoods. Like grimy looking people. Um, DRUGGIEs walking all over the place, clearly strung out, clearly on that yayo. I'm like, what's this, bro? Like police sirens every goddamn hour. Beep, beep. I'm like, yo, this is hell. This is hell, bro. Definitely London over NY, bro. I'll be real with you. I could not live in New York. You could offer me 400k. I'm not taking it to live in New York. I don't see the point. Socially, brother, that city is it's not right socially. So you can't meet any woman, can't talk to people, you can't date as a black man. At this point in time, you know, forget the money. It's all about your peace of mind, your mental well-being. Find a place where you get paid well, but you're also living in a great place. And that's what we do as passport bros. So go on, bro.
No, I'm laughing because, we had this conversation before previously, and you were like, oh, I don't think any place is worse than London. And I was like, I'm telling you, if you come over here, you come to New York, I'm telling you it's worse. And now that you're here, right, you can confirm that fact. Like I said, I haven't been to London, so I don't know. But you have. So between the both, you said it on the family. It wasn't even like you had to think about it. You definitely knew that New York was worse. Now, when you come here, you find strategies in order to deal with it. Like, for example, meeting people, stuff like that. People are more chill once they know you and they know you're not a threat. But the whole like cold approach game, all stuff like that, like people ain't gonna be cool if you're doing that unless they see you have like great money, wealth, or status. Like people are just not gonna be willing to just meet with you like that because they're gonna assume fault. They're gonna assume something wrong. They're gonna assume you're a scammer unless proven otherwise. So the way you meet people in New York, the way you make friends is by joining clubs or places where you can see people right in a regular basis and then get a kind of feel for them, know where they're at, stuff like that. This is why like if you go to like, the hood, you go to Harlem, right? People be like, and they see you, they know who you are, they're gonna check on you. They're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't know who this person is. I don't know if he's friend or foe, whatever, because they'll usually see the same people and they get a read of them. Right. So that's kind of the ways you can meet people and make friends, stuff like that in New York. But this whole like you just randomly go up and talk to people, that's only like we have like what we call high trust societies, right? And low trust societies, right? The whole cold approach, going up to talk to people, you can do that in high trust societies. But New York City, all right, is a low trust society, right? In other words, if someone's coming to talk to me, I don't care if they're black, white, blue, whatever, like I'm going to assume they're trying to get one up on me, right? Unless proven otherwise. And that's just the truth of New York. I don't feel that way, right? When I'm in like actually, well, sometimes in Brazil, it depends, but I don't feel that way when I'm in Asia. I don't feel that way when I'm in most parts of South America, you know what I mean? And so there's a huge difference there. Now, imagine, right, you're talking about all these things and stuff about New York, right? Now, imagine even even the places you consider the most dangerous, right, with all the people who are strung out, stuff like that, yeah, they're paying more for their rent that you're paying, right, in most places in London. So people are paying top dollar to live in places like that, bro. And a lot of times they're doing that because they can't afford to leave because they have to just keep paying rent each month. They can't score enough money away to leave. I mean, it's really bad in New York, bro. I'm gonna be honest, it's really bad. Now there's a lot of opportunity in New York. There's a lot of opportunity. So if you want to make money, right, there's a lot of opportunity in New York. But the second I told you this before, the second my job was from New York. The second I was able to, to move out of New York while still making the same income, I got the hell out. I got the heck out of there. I made sure to get out of there.
No, brother, you're right. I feel like there's a huge income inequality issue in New York, far more worse than what we have in the UK, which is getting pretty bad. But you can tell New York, man, like a lot of people are struggling. You see in their face, how they dress, how they move. and it's not right. And most of that is black men, from what I saw in New York. And if you're constantly giving money away to rent and expenses, how are you gonna get money to book a ticket to leave? Blah blah blah. Your only option is to get a skill set, IT, tech, study hard, get a job that pays well, stack up and leave. But it's a shame. It really is a shame that city is oh gosh, like it's trauma. Honestly, I think it traumatized me to a point where, like, I didn't. For me, it's more about the race thing. I didn't like how black men were living there in that city. I feel like everyone else is living good lives there, particularly white men. For me, it's a white man's playground, New York, from what I saw. And if you're not white, you live in a second class life. If you're not white or Asian, in my honest, but do you agree with that, bro?
Yeah. The Latinos don't live too well either. But the thing the Latinos got, right, that the brothers don't got in New York is that the Latinos they tend to sit together and they tend to work together. So like, if they're like in a situation, they might be like 20 to a room, but they'll make sure they're all good. They're gonna stay with each other and stuff like that. Like we brothers, we don't do that. Like if someone, it's on their fee and they can't pay rent, right? And they don't got like their mom, right, to go, or their dad to go back on them. They're just on the streets. Like, but Latino culture, they don't really allow that. Though they're gonna make sure that they have somewhere to sleep. So yeah, it really is a white and Asian thing, but it goes based on like prefixes. This is another thing I was talking about, because like when you like, essentially you gotta like pay money, right, to avoid, right, that low trust society thing. Because if you go to like, if you like, for example, if you go to, I don't want to necessarily give out spots, but if you go right to places where you pay a good amount of money in order to get in, right, gentlemen clubs, stuff like that, right, people will know. Right. Okay. This guy, he has to have some sort of wealth in order for him to be here. So it's kind of like they use money to discriminate. You know what I mean? And once you're there, then they're going to be more likely to let their guard down and be chill with you, because they're assuming the fact that you've been able to get here in the first place, you have to have some sort of income with you. You can't just be some regular degular dude and be out here. So, but you going out just randomly in the street, and by the way, I'll pro tip, because I know you said you did the train station, right? Don't walk near the train station, bro, especially when the train comes, bro. People be pushing people on the train tracks. I mean, it's a thing. I've really seen it, actually. I've seen someone attempt to do it, not successfully do it, but attempt to do it. So if you're at the train station, right, I know some people, right, they want to be the first one on the train, so they'll go near the tracks, right, when the train comes. Don't do that, bro. There's some mentally unhinged people, right, and they'll literally just put you on the train tracks, right, just because they hate their lives or they're crazy or whatever, and it's really messed up, bro. So be very careful, right, when you're on the train, because there's a lot of unhinged people. I mean, as you said before, people jump the gates, they do all that stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I haven't been in New York in it's like half a decade now. In New York City, and like hearing your video, bro, just brought back so many bad memories, bro. My time in New York, it brought back so many bad memories, man. I almost forgot some of this stuff, man, because it's been so long. But I just want to know again, like, did you just like, because you spent money to come here, right? And it costs a lot of money. Like, New York isn't cheap. I just think about all the other places you could have went, with the amount of money you spent here. I'm like, what caused you? Like, what? I just want to know, like, what caused you to think, what? Let me go to New York. Yeah, that's a good use of my time.
So I just feel like I have future trips planned, right, in the next coming months. But I thought, listen, let me go to America. 'Cause I've not been to New York before, and I want to do like other tours of the cities. And I know America has good food, although toxic. And I just thought, you know, uh, for the culture, see our brothers are really living there in real life in 2025. Because although we talk about America, it is the only nation on earth where you have an affluent black community. It's not perfect, but I say black people have the most mobility, socioeconomic positives compared to Africa and the Caribbean, even in the UK as well. So I just want to see like how are rich, wealthy, poor, and black people living there in America. I've met some black people that are doing great things in America. And there definitely is like a lot of Black networks for Black professionals in America that we don't have in the UK. So it's just been good to see that, but it's not a perfect society. I do feel like across all the cities I've been to, I won't tell you the other ones yet. I'm gonna keep that a surprise. I've seen like I keep seeing a common theme: homeless Black people, Black people struggling, and it's not all peaches and creams in America. It really isn't. There definitely is structural racism, a glass ceiling there. I think a lot of Black men are going through hell in America. From what I see personally, I really do believe it's a racist country. It really is. And brothers are, I don't know how you brothers do it, but you guys are very strong, man, because that America is truly a racist country. It really is.
Oh yeah, no, we do it because we know no better, right? So the first time you get out and you experience a different life, it's life changing. I mean, that's what happened with me. You know what I mean? So like when you know no better, right? Just like I'll give the Pop-Tart analogy, right? You know, and then you experience for the first time a good life, like you literally just can't go back. You think about everything you can do in order to make sure that you don't go back because you just feel like it's prison. But when you're here and experiencing the entire time, you're just like, okay, this is life. You know, this is all you ever know. So for you, you've experienced a better life, you know, so you're going back like, oh, okay. But most people, like, if they're from New York, right, they were born and raised in New York. They never leave. Like that's most people experience in New York. They don't know what it's like to leave New York. You know, I had no intention of leaving until the whole virus thing happened. But when the virus thing happened, I moved to Miami, and I saw how much better life was in Miami versus New York. And then I moved out of the country right after that, right, for a quick vacation, and I saw how life was there. I was like, well, I'm never going back. But before that, I wouldn't even known any better. I would have just been like, this is how life is, you know? So, but there are better cities. I mean, New York is like, I would say, one of the worst ones. Maybe Chicago is slightly worse, but it depends which part of Chicago you're going to. But places I would say that's better, like more of your vibe, where you want to be able to speak to people are a little bit easier. I would say, I know the brother's been saying like LA. Yeah, certain parts of LA, I definitely like that. San Francisco's another part. Like the West Coast, I would say in general, like Phoenix, right? You know what I'm saying? I would say the West Coast in general is better for that type of vibe where you can kind of just meet people, right, on the street and people are not always on edge, stuff like that. Because a lot of the East Coast cities, you know, it's going to be like that. I mean, New York is the absolute worst, but it's not just New York. You know, if you go to a lot of the East Coast, you go to Baltimore, you know, you go to Philly, you know, you go to all these other East Coast cities. Unless you go to the South, like you go to Miami, it's a little more relaxed. But I would say the West Coast is a lot more like relaxed in that regard, where people are not so on edge or they think that you're gonna like rob them or whatever. Because I'm not gonna lie, like if I'm in the East Coast, I'm over there, that's exactly what I think. I mean, I'm sure if I saw you IP and I didn't even know who you were and you just trying to say what's up, I would automatically be on edge. It is what it is. It is what, yeah, man. Because if you don't learn, look, essentially it's like we call it like being green. Like, you know, if you don't know, like, you know, to be on edge when people are coming at you and approaching you, right? If you don't develop that sense to be suspicious when people are coming to you, then you're gonna get got, bro. You're gonna get got, and then eventually life is gonna teach you, right? You know, don't be trusting some random dude that just becoming to approach you. If they say hi, it's like, why is he saying hi? Right? Like, you know what I mean? What do you want? You know, that's what we think. Like, it's not like in other places where it's like, oh, he's just saying hi because he's a nice, you know, neighbor. He's just, you know, he's just making friendly conversation. We're thinking, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, you don't just randomly say hi. Like, that's not what you do here, you know? In fact, there's YouTube videos about this. People have made careers, right, exposing how messed up New York is. But yeah, like if you stay here long enough, you're gonna be exactly like everyone else. And if you don't, you're gonna get got until eventually you realize that you need to be like that. So when you were like, you know, I remember they talking about that white girl that girl that was with the Latin girl, right? That was with the white dude, whatever. You got mad at her, right? I'm like, I understood why you feel that way, bro. But everyone's gonna be like that if they stay in New York long enough. Everyone's gonna be like that. You know what I mean? They're gonna think, okay, why is this guy following me long enough? Like, if someone's just walking behind me for more than 2 blocks, I'm gonna be like, all right, hold up, let's see. Like, you gotta be on your P's and Q's, bro. When you out there, you gotta be on your P's and Q's because there's just so many situations you can get got, bro. and you just learn. Like it's mentally taxing, bro. It's kind of like what I was telling him about. Like for example, like I love Brazil. Like so much I learned the language, everything like that. But being here in Asia right now, one thing that I just noticed, right, being in Asia versus being in Brazil, is that I don't have to worry about my stuff getting stolen all the time, bro. Like in Brazil, I'm like every couple of minutes, I'm tapping my pockets to make sure my phone's there, my wallet's there, my keys there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that when I'm in Japan, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that mental load of you not having to worry about crap, right? It is like it's a thing, bro. Like when in New York, you're doing that all the time. You're watching people to make sure, okay, am I being followed? This or whatever.
Are they doing it against, like, for me personally, from what I saw, brother? I saw Chad Nelson. Can you turn your camera on in the background so I know a troll, and you can turn it off after? I just want to know you are human. Okay, so basically, fingers, bro, right? Like I see him doing it against, right, mostly black men in New York. I didn't see women on the edge around white men, honestly, brother, around Latin men, most around black men. So for me, it's a race thing, bro. If I'm keeping it buck.
Yeah, see, this is where I can't this is where I need to know, like, because you might be right, but like, here's the reason why I can't like affirm or deny that, because I don't know how you dressed when you were there, but I know how I dress, right? Because I dress like every New Yorker. So like, I feel like, if it's a white dude, right, that dresses like how I would dress in New York, he would get the same treatment. But I know you like to wear a suit and stuff like that. So maybe, you were wearing a suit and she was still looking at you that way. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say that there isn't that. You know what I mean? But I just know that with me, I dress like how every other New Yorker dress, because I want to be looked at the same ways. I don't want to be looked at like I'm an easy lick or anything like that. So I'm just gonna be dressing like everyone else dressed. I'm gonna act like everyone else acts. So that way, like, people don't look at me like I'm an easy lick. But I feel like you probably didn't dress that way because you're a tourist. So maybe you're right. Maybe it was a race thing. But I don't know that. I just don't know, because I always dress a certain way. And I know that when white people dress like the way I dress, I'd be looking at them the same way too. Because there's ghetto white people just like the ghetto Latin people.
2 points I want to bring up. So, I think there were situations where I was in a certain blocks where I overheard. I felt a bit uneasy. Overheard conversations like, "Yo, who's that guy?" But I left there as soon as possible. I left there as soon as possible. I was like, no, nope. I'm out. I looked for the next bus stop or next train. I left that ASAP. So that definitely is a thing. You need to know where you're going to New York, because I did feel some sort of like unease in certain blocks. I was like, I'm out of it ASAP. Number two, to Chad says that my brother is a risk country at all. I'll be real with you. And I've been to majority white countries, right? America is by far, actually, let me think. Let me be real here. Let me think. Yeah, America is by far the most racist country I've ever been to. By far. And I've been to majority white countries in the past. I've dealt with racism there, right? But the vibe I got in America, right, I felt very uneasy. Like, nah. And I know at that point, I see you, bro, to Chad Nelson. Brother, you can turn your camera off if you want to, or leave it on. It's up to you, brother. You want to turn it? Yep, thank you, brother. So let me bring in Chad Nelson in the background. Okay, what's going on, Chad? You good, bro?
Yes, brethren. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. How you doing, man? You good?
I'm super well, super well. So I just want to clarify a comment in which you made about America being a racist country.
Yeah.
How would I say this? First and foremost, I've lived in Paris for a long time, Lisbon for a long time, started non-for-profits there, mobilizing and re-educating the brothers and sisters there. And I will tell you this, people use the word racism so flippantly, with not the lightest context of what race is. I would ask you, can you define racism for me, please?
All right, brother. So I say racism is the inherent hatred of a particular race.
No, that's not racism. That's called hatred. That's just called hatred. I say,
okay, brother. Okay, go on, bro. Go on.
Okay, so what is racism? Racism would mean judging a person by the attributes and characteristics of an entire race. That would be the working definition of racism. So what we see in the United States is a great deal of pushback between person to person, but that's not racism. If a Chinese man hires a Chinese man to work at a store, and he chooses not to hire a person of color or a black person, I would say, that's not racism. That's an individual hiring his own person. If a Jewish man hires a Jewish man, that's a Jewish man hiring a Jewish man. That's not racism. And we as black men got to get it to our head that what we attribute to be racism is not racism. We have to purify our minds and start to see things more objectively. Let me ask you a question. Ready? I'll play a game with you. You ready for the game?
Fire away, bro.
Okay. Are white people superior to black people?
No, never. Never will
Are
be.
you sure about this? You're positive, right? Positive.
I'm 100% sure, bro.
Okay. Does white supremacy exist?
Yes, it does. I call it whiteness extremism. I call it extremism, but yeah, it does exist, brother. The belief
Okay,
that
so
they believe.
how can white supremacy exist or a white supremacist if we just said they're not superior? It doesn't
Brother,
make sense.
No, bro, bro, it's on their end, bro. So they can believe that they're better than us and superior
Okay,
to us.
but what you said, what you said to me is it exists. So in your mind, it exists. Allow me to say this to you. If a person came to you and he said, I'm a white supremacist, this is what a person said to you. I'm a white supremacist. Does that make him one? No, it doesn't. If white supremacy were like baking a cake, let's say, we would need ingredients, right? Like baking a cake, you need ingredients for a cake. What would be the ingredients I need to bake a cake?
Flour, sugar, egg, etc., etc.
Exactly. And if you make chocolate cake, you need cocoa. So if a white man came to me and said he was a supremacist, I would say, well, there are ingredients that make you a supremacist, right? He would say, yes. I would say you need hatred. He would need hatred, right? He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So I have hatred inside of me too. So now we're equal. So then he might say to me, I might say to him, well, you're a bigot. I would say, well, then I'm a bigot too. Well, then we're equal in two terms. Then he would say, I'm prejudiced. And I would say, well, guess what? I'm prejudiced too. So that makes us equal. You see,
bro, they have a power system behind them that allows them to enact the racism, brother. They own all the companies.
They have what?
They have like systems in place, right, that allows them to actually enact racism. The law system, corporations.
Okay, and I'm going to give you that one.
How can I oppress a white person, bro? I ain't got the power to do so.
Well, hold on. And then I'm sorry to monopolize, but let's think about this. First and foremost, what we said is they're not superior, but then we said it does exist. And then we might say it exists, as you said, in his mind. So if I told
what
you,
you're saying makes no sense. Like let's no. Hold on. Let me finish. If we're saying we're equal, right? Look, if we're saying we're equal, but it's a white majority country, but we're equal, right? But it's a white majority country. They have the power just because there's more of them. So even if you can be equal, right, it can still exist just because they have a monopoly on population. What you're saying makes absolutely no sense. Oh my gosh, bro.
Allow me to just retort. What I'm saying to you is simply because someone else tells me that he's a supremacist doesn't make him a supremacist in my eyes. And all I'm saying to you is if we as people, as black men, would galvanize ourselves and say, you know something, it doesn't exist. Then
I can believe.
Allow me to just finish. I'm almost done. Then what it would do for us, we would benefit because then we could take control of our own neighborhoods and our own lives. And I will end up by saying this to you, and I won't go on too long, but we might say it's a racist country. So then we might say, well, the black community, we don't have upwardly mobile, self-sustaining, functioning black communities. We have neighborhoods in this country. And if you remove the word neighbor from hood, you get hood. where you get hood rats from and chicken heads. What I'm just saying to you is if we could stop with looking at them and look at ourselves and realize they don't have any power over you, whether it's a majority or a minority.
Can I come in, bro? But what do you mean they have no power over me? Because but I'll keep it real with you, brother, right? I can believe that. I know for a fact that they're not superior to me, right? But there is a power structure, brother, that does keep us down, right?
No,
For example,
I'm here in America. I'm 50.
Bro, you gotta let other people talk, man.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I was just heated up. I'm sorry.
It's all right, brother. It's open conversation, right? So, for example, right? Okay, so the Supreme Court, the judiciary, the judges, most of them are white. Okay. Now, if you go to the CEO of companies or the board of directors, most of them are white. Okay. Then if you go to other parts of, let's say, politics as well, most of them are white. Trump is a white guy, etc., etc. Look at who actually owns the wealth as well. Who owns the most wealth, generational wealth? Most of them are white by politicians, etc., etc. Right. So there's a power structure that allows them to actually enact the racism. Even though I can believe that, hey, you are not superior to me, but if you are a judge, right, and you're racist, right, you may give a sentence to a black man of 100 years for burglary, whereas for a white guy, 1 year. And that's which is quite common with sentencing disparity throughout America. That is racism, brother. So that means he has the power to actually allow you to be in prison for your whole life until you die. But for a white guy, it's 1 year. And there's different ways and as to how they enact their power systems and structures, even though you don't believe, hey, he's better than me. It's keep it up, bro.
Yeah, I'll go even further with your analogy for the whole equal thing, right? Yeah, we could both be equal. Let's say me and this white dude, we're equaling the same strength. We're equally like, if we fight, it's gonna be a stalemate. But then he got 9 of his brothers that come after me, so it's 10 versus 1. Is it equal? No. So even if I'm equal to one white man, right? If there's more of them, right?
Can you repeat that again? Repeat that again, please. I didn't.
You're saying about the whole equal thing, right? Oh well, if it's equal, how is it white supremacy? There's something called population, bro. There's something called percentages. So even if I'm equal to one white man, right? But they have the numbers. They have the numbers in percentages like this. There's 10 more of them than there are of me, right? Even if I'm equal to one, right? If they all gang up against me, what can I do there? And brother, well, one last thing, because I'm just, oh my gosh, dude, I meet people like you, and it really annoys me, man, because I meet people like you where it's like, you know, the brother makes it, and then they just forget where they come from. They think, oh, well, I made it out. So, you know, racism doesn't really exist. It doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. Like, Kanye West said it best. Kanye West said it best, where it's like, you make all this money and you're still an N-word in a coupe, bro. It's real, right? This thing is real. Like, we talk about this stuff before, like, you know, police brutality, right? All this stuff like that. This still, you're talking about this stuff like we don't have this stuff that doesn't exist. You're talking about like they didn't do things that purposely put black people down. You're saying, oh, we need to build ourselves up. Well, we tried. Guess what happens when we build ourselves up to do something, right? They break it over, right? They break over the Tulsa. They're the ones who did it. They're the ones who.
Fair enough, but if I understand you correctly, what you're saying is quantity trumps an individual who has the capacity to leverage himself out of a situation. Do I understand that correctly? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we've done that time. I mean, do I need to go through the examples over and over, right, of where we built something and they destroyed it? Do I need to go over it piece by piece? Because you don't know your history. Yes, I'm saying that.
Slow down. First, you're making a hell of an assumption that I don't know my history. And then secondly, you made a comment about getting out. Getting out of where? Getting out of where?
The hood. Making it out.
First off, let me say something. I never found myself in the hood because I didn't want to be in one. What I've done, let me say.
Okay, all right, brother. All right. I understand you now.
I opened non-for-profits around the world. I lived in Portugal, have the biggest non-for-profit that I opened in order to mobilize black men. I put my money where my mouth is. Portugal started the history of slavery based upon the color of one's skin. King Henry the Navigator and Pope Innocent. Before them, slavery based upon the color of skin never existed. It was the Portuguese that started that. And that legacy still lives today. What I'm simply saying to you is, if we as men, and I'm not here to fight you, I'm here to maybe empower myself and you and to galvanize us to say, you know something, they don't have control over you, over your mind, your spirit, your body, or your soul. And if we then speak of the multitude, well, I'm a Christian. Christ dealt with the multitude, then he dealt with the 12, then he dealt with the three. And what was he telling us when he spoke his such words, his prophetic and profound words of wisdom, which was one man can do it. It doesn't matter how many people you have out there. The individual has to be strong enough to see that nothing can hold him back. That's all I'm saying to you. And I think that if young people are hearing this conversation today, a 7-year-old or a 10-year-old, then we put it in his mind that, well, people are over you and these people are stronger than you. And it's because there's many of them, they're going to suppress your growth. I don't believe that. And that's the only reason why I called in to say, I appreciate the fact that you guys are doing. I think it's so empowering. It's beautiful. But we have to, I'm just saying to you, we must get to the point where we see ourselves bigger and better. And it doesn't matter if 50 men came at me, all I need is one knife or maybe even one word that can stop the treachery that goes on. I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to say we got to do better because they don't have control over you. They don't have.
That is the reality. That is. I'm going to tell you the same thing I told IP. I told IP, right? If you stay in New York long enough, you're going to learn how to move. Right? He's not there, so he doesn't realize that that's the reason why people, act a certain way is because they've been burned too many times. I'm gonna say the same thing to you that I say to them. I thought, when I was growing up, I was in the smart classes. I had no issues when I was a kid growing up. I thought racism didn't really exist because all I was going was school and home. So when when I started to drive, and my mom was like, make sure to be careful, right? You're black, make sure you don't do this, you do that. I thought she was tripping. I really thought it was a joke. I'm like, this driving while black is not a real thing. I never experienced anything like this. And then I started driving. And life is going to teach you. So when you're saying, when you're saying tell these young people coming up for how this is, we're trying to give them the blueprint so they don't make the same mistakes we did. And you're just telling us to just ignore it? Like,
blessing you. Bless you. I'm not saying ignore it. What I am saying is we have to categorize it properly. And the reason why I'm saying this is because racism we throw out like a blanket. If a cop pulls you over and he is in such a way that he dislikes you, is prejudice. He's prejudging you. That's the definition of prejudice. That's a definition. What I'm saying to is if I drive through Chicago today, same thing can happen. I'm in East New York, Brooklyn right now. East New York, Brooklyn. I know what you're saying about the hood. I'm in East New York, Brooklyn. I understand what you're saying, but the reality is we hurt ourselves even more. You understand do you follow where I'm coming from? And I'm not saying, yes, please.
Like, I get your mentality here. You want us to do better and have this self-belief, but bro, reality is reality. I used to think like you as well, to just think positive, which is good to feel positive, right? But you also have to face reality is that, the power structures, right, are with whites, Chinese, Indians to an extent, and we have no power. And and that's me. It's reality. But do you know why I say that, right? Because I look at my experiences in the corporate world. I look at who's the faces that hold the most wealth, who run the companies, who are in politics. It's hardly black people, right? I look at, for example, I look at even Africa as well and the Caribbean. Why is it, why they're undeveloped? And we can blame colonization and current powers that be, right? That that are involved in corruption, all that stuff. So racism is affecting us, and we have to admit that it is a problem. I'm sorry, but and me planning to New York as well. What I saw in New York, bro, I didn't like what I saw. Right? I know you're in New York, right? You live there, so I may be wrong in some aspects, and please correct me. But I saw a bunch of homeless black men. I saw disenfranchised black men. I didn't see black men doing too good in New York, right? And I saw white men just doing very well in all areas of society. and that's a
What
common
do you
theme.
think the reason that is? What do you? Let me ask you. Does the individual? Is there any responsibility in the individual? I'm just asking.
But
Yo, this is
to an
crazy,
extent,
bro.
No, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's not
generational, generational poverty, for example, right? So we know, ever since slavery ended, it was hard for Black people to, to move upwards in jobs or gain wealth, and obviously that's passed down through decades, right? Lack of generational wealth. So back then, the white man's making money through slavery, or if he's not a slave owner, he's got a nice job making money, has kids, he will pass on his wealth to his children, right? Whereas back then, Black people were slaves, couldn't work for money, had to work for free, were forced to work for free, etc., etc. So that means that there's a huge disparity there between generational wealth and how you pass on wealth. And
No,
I
but
believe
we don't even need to go that far. We don't even need to go that far. We can just go into the fact of, we have a Black person has a perfect credit score, making a great income, and he's going to have a higher loan, right? Higher mortgage loan than the white guy who has a bad credit score, right? And has no money. Explain that. If you're talking about individual, we're doing the individual. This Black brother got a perfect credit score. He has a good income, and yet he still has a higher loan, higher interest payment on his mortgage than the white guy. Explain that. If that's not racism, man, I just, oh my gosh, bro.
No, please. I will explain that. First and foremost, it depends on whom you go to. Secondly, I mean, there's so many factors, we can't just label it as one.
This study has been repeated time and time again. It's not like a one-time study. You can look this up. Anyone with Google, please look this up. This has been repeated time and time and time again. This whole whom do you go to? No. It's if you have a Black name, you're gonna get a higher interest payment than you have a white name. That's exactly the fact. Whether you have a high credit score, we have a high income, it don't matter.
So then let me ask you this question. I own 2 homes, but the question in which I want to ask you then is, did that apply to me as well? Did it? Because it sure
yes, it did. Just because this is what I'm saying. You are the exact person I'm talking about. Oh my dude, I make money too. I made it out too. Everyone thinks, because I made it out, right? Or because I own 2 homes. Oh, how did I make it? There's always gonna be people who make it. Right? It's about the percentages. Right?
Yes.
When you make the bar higher for Black people, less people on average can afford to get a home. It doesn't mean no one can get a home. It just means that less can.
I understand. Let's take our vernacular down. I understand what you're saying. What I am just simply trying to articulate here is the fact is what we have to do is work better and together. And once we understand how to do it, we pass that information on.
How would that work? But Nelson, how would that work though? You keep saying, I do agree. Work together is we should be doing that as well. And we do it in our community as well, in the passport community and in the tech space as well. But brother, think bigger than that, right? Think about the laws, think about courts, think about politics, think about CEOs, directors, right? Think about the actual resources, brother, right? Gold, diamond.
Let me ask either of you one question. Both of you, and I'll ask both of you, because you made a comment about we're talking about finance and so forth and money and how do we get there. Are you familiar with the stock markets? Are you familiar with it?
I am, brother, but not everyone has money to.
So what I'm saying to you is, I teach young Black people how to move stocks, ETFs, futures, right? I'll give you one example. I'll say this to everybody listening today. Go and open up a Vanguard account. Take your money out of the bank, out of Chase Bank, out of Wells Fargo. Open up a Vanguard ETF account. Please, everybody, your children, go do it today. Go look at Vanguard.
Do you know that there's also a huge racial pay gap as well for many jobs in America? That even if you have a stock account, right, your white counterpart has more money to invest in stocks or crypto. But again, that's part of racism. And that's not part of it.
And brother, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like you're moving the goalposts because you first came in saying, what is racism, all this stuff. You kind of, intellectualize it like we don't know what racism is. And now you're acknowledging that we definitely do face things that other races don't have to face, but that we need. But you're just saying, we should overcome. Well, that's the whole reason why we're here. That's the reason why we're congregating, is because we're discussing strategies to overcome. But we have to also acknowledge that we have things to overcome that we wouldn't have if we were white or another race.
My brother, history shows us that. What I'm simply saying here is this. What we have to do is acknowledge things and put them in their proper place. Because if we don't, we will be blinded as people. What I am simply saying is we will be blinded as people. Malcolm X preached this his entire life. I'm not saying that there aren't prejudiced people out there. By all means, they are. But a
You don't even want to
conversation.
use the word racist. You don't even want to. I've noticed that you keep using the word prejudice. You don't even want to use the word racist. I've noticed that. I peep things like this, man.
I'm glad you did, people, because I don't think everything is racist. I believe there are prejudiced people out there. Racism, simply by the working definition, would have to mean judging an individual on the attributes and characteristics of the entire group. That's what I'm saying to you. That just because a woman looks at me badly doesn't mean she's racist. She might be prejudiced. And if I remove her from being racist, guess what? She has no power. And I've done it. I've sat with people and they said, well, I'm a racist. I said, no, you're not. You're prejudiced. Go figure that. And guess what? We're equal. Supremacy doesn't exist. They couldn't open their mouth. That's all I'm saying. And a conversation like this should be, how do we mobilize each other to become better and bigger in the world? If we can do that, we all can own a piece of the pie. That's all I am strictly saying. I'm not denying that there are problems out there. I am not denying that. But when we speak of America and we speak of the things that happen, we hurt each other. We spend so much time focusing on the word racism as opposed to focusing on improper behavior. I'll give you an example. A Chinese man on your graduation, your daughter's graduation, you take your daughter to an Italian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant. Now, what do you think happens if a Chinese man gets caught in a black restaurant for his daughter's graduation? The community shuns him. Well, then black people need to do the same thing. Then we need to do the same thing. Then we need to do the same thing. Inappropriate behavior. Then what we need to do is utilize our own resources towards our own people. That's what I'm saying. And I hope that this conversation look, I'm not here to fight you, Johnny. And so I think maybe we could talk after this, even outside of this, and maybe then we could move things forward. I came upon your site just now by accident, and I said, wow, ain't this something? God bless you, men, for putting these things out there. But for all the other people getting together, hold hands, sing kumbaya, and let's make something of ourselves. That's the only point I'm saying, because we can scream and beat a horse of racism to the ground, and we're still going to get nowhere. That's all I'm saying, my brothers.
Okay, you clearly are new here. You clearly are new here. But if you're familiar with IP streams, this is one aspect. IP, right, is an IT brother. He's helped countless people get into tech, right, working their way into tech, get high paying jobs, 6-figure jobs. We have another brother named Theo that does the exact same thing. We talk about strategies like this, but even people like IP and Theo who have made it to the pinnacle, right, in their respective fields, they'll tell you they had to face racism, they had to navigate through racism in order to do so. So you're talking about people who've made it at the top, right? And even them, they're telling you, okay, I had to go through this, I had to go through that, right? They try to put me down here. This is how I navigated through that. And that's kind of the reason why we have this whole space. So like, brother, when you say things like, I'm just going to be honest with you, brother, like I've met people like you before, and it's just, when you said the whole prejudice thing, I knew exactly what type of time you were on. But this whole thing about like, there's, no racism and, kumbaya and, always got to work, pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Like, this is complete BS, man.
That's not, you see, what you're doing is you're putting me in a box. I did not say that. And for those guys who had to deal with all that type of animosity behind others, I respect them for their move. I respect that. I'm not here to fight you. I'm only saying to you, the simple point I'm saying is,
you're telling them there's no racism. You're essentially not legitimizing their experience. You're saying there's no racism. You're saying we're equal.
I never said there wasn't racism. I did not say that.
Hold on, Nelson. I'll keep it buck, right? For me, I get your points, right? Like, I'm open to, I think Jam is saying great points. I think you're saying some good points as well. But I'll be honest with you, Nelson. For me, yes, race is the most important thing on planet Earth. As I'm growing older and wiser, it's all about race. And racism is a huge part of every single black person's life on planet Earth, bro. I'm keeping it a buck. I don't agree, like, remove out your mind. No, I think you have to assume that someone is going to be racist towards you in your workplace or whatever. I need to prepare for that. We have to tell our kids that racism is a part of life, and you have to assume like someone is racist. Because brother, I've given people chances, bro, in the workplace, amongst friends, and their true colors have always come out. Brother, every group of people apart from us, right, is on this racial tribal stuff. Indians, Chinese, whites, only we, right, are on that kumbaya stuff. And I'm tired of it, bro. Because
No,
for some reason,
first off, what I said,
hold on, bro. Sorry, no, so one point, right? For one example, right? So India, right? So a couple of weeks ago, brother, we looked at the rich list of African countries and of India as well. So in Tanzania, Kenya, and other East African countries, if you look at the top 10 rich lists, it's full of Indian people. Whereas if I look at the top 10 richest people in India, it's all Indian people. Then we look at the lives of black people in India, it's not too good. Some of them have been deleted, are oppressed, but out in Africa and the Caribbean, Indians are making big money, millionaires, billionaires. So what's going on there, bro? So at this
what's
point
going
in
on?
time,
We shouldn't allow them there, right?
no,
They shouldn't be allowed there.
we are too much on that kumbaya stuff, and to a point where like and Indians have blocked out their country, their economy from black people. That's racism, bro. And
And
they
that's
do
why
it
I
in
said that black people need to do it, block
Canada.
the same thing. We just need to do the same thing. And when I said kumbaya, I said,
And this is what I mean when I say this guy doesn't know his history, because guess what we did that? The country's called Haiti. Right? And then look what happened after Haiti, right, won this revolution, won its independence. It keeps getting overthrown and decimated by the U.S. We elect a new leader. The U.S. We have a coup with the U.S. We elect another leader. The U.S. does another coup, another coup, another coup. Look this up. Look up the history of Haiti. This happened within. Remember, this is like 2022. It's like 3 years ago. It's about, oh, we just need to do this again. Well, we are trying to do that. And guess what happens? Every time we do that, there's another coup to get us out
I
of
know.
there.
I lived in Haiti, and I understand the history of Haiti from Toussaint Louverture straight on down. But I'm not maybe missing my point. First, if I'm going to take it down again, I lived in Haiti, and I went out there and I mobilized people out there as well. What I'm saying to is these things and these oppressions are going to happen everywhere. Asians do it to Asians, black people do it to black people, even whites do it to whites. The simple point I'm trying to say here is that what we have got to do is first, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, is start with inappropriate behavior. We first got to stop letting them in and giving them your work, the things in which you work for so diligently and with so much effort. That's all I'm saying. And when I said kumbaya, no, because as I said, my daughter, I don't let her go to a Chinese restaurant to eat. You're going to give it to your own people, first and foremost. That's what I'm saying here. Hold it.
All right. I know, Sneak. Thank you for your points. Go on, bro.
Huh?
Hello. No, I said no. I think again, I agree with your points. Some aspects I disagree in a lot of it. I'm still going to believe that I know for a fact that based on my experiences, I go for racism. I think it's a real thing that is affecting every single black person in the West and around the world. It affects me, bro.
I don't.
It doesn't affect you.
Huh?
It doesn't affect
All
you.
right,
It doesn't
brother.
affect
Yeah,
you.
we live in la la land. Yeah, racism doesn't exist. You know what I mean? We're all equal. Kumbaya, yada yada. You're absolutely right. All right, man. And the hood doesn't work either. Yeah, I wasn't growing up in the hood because I didn't believe in the hood. Yeah, that makes absolutely perfect sense. That's perfectly logical. Yeah. So
I'm going to be out. If I'm going to be out, I will say to you, respect to you, brethren, and I understand what you're saying. I'm not going to argue against you. If it's that oppressive and it's always going to hold you back, then I wish you the very best. I work for our people, and I do my damnedest for it. I opened up organizations in Haiti, in Paris, in Lisbon. You can look me up; you'll find it. And I'm just saying to you, I respect where you're coming from. I only say to us, first thing we have got to stop doing, in my estimation, is saying everything is racism. There are evil people out there. Yes, they are. And I'm not going to deny that. They're evil people who hold us back, and we also hold ourselves back. We have to be accountable for ourselves. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying pick yourself up by the bootstraps and everything's going to be good. No, these things are bloody well out there. They are out there. But we have to work with ourselves, and we have to remove this tainted disease that we throw on everything. And then, maybe then, we can start to do better. That's all I have to say. And I put my money where my mouth is, because if you look me up, you'll see that, yes, he's done it on my own dime. On my own dime. Brethren, massive love, respect. Yaman?
Hey, thank you, Nelson, for your points. Again, I disagree. But again, we agree to disagree here. And I'm sure Jam disagrees with most of your points. I will never stop believing a race exists. I know it impacts us, and even if we do come together, but we have to think bigger than us as well, because we're just a small community, right? I'm talking banks, I'm talking politicians, law. We don't have that power. As long as we don't have that power, right? People who are not black will continue to screw us over every single day, every day.
And there's some people who won't, and we have to educate ourselves, is what I'm saying too. We have to educate ourselves and open up our own. And I know this guy's going to tell me it's hard. It is hard. Absolutely. It's not easy, but it's always going to be.
Nelson, we have no generational wealth. We have no generational wealth. For example, right? So in the next, 10 years, there's going to be a huge generational wealth pass through from white people to their children, which will be in the billions, right? And for black people, it's near zero.
So what do we do about it? How do we change it?
I don't know, because
I'll tell you how we start doing it. First and foremost, the unity, the family structure we've got to maintain the family structure first.
Secondly, who destroyed that, Nelson? Who destroyed that? I wonder if we look into that. What happened with the family structure? We used to be the most married group, and now we're not. I wonder what happened there.
Man is pushing the black man out of his own home. This is all right. I'm out. Good night. Good night. I wish you the best, brethren. I hope that you can see better than that. I really do. Because the white man, why don't we start looking at ourselves and build ourselves? Enough of him.
For destroying our families, bro. Let's keep it a stack.
We're destroying our families too. And we're destroying our families too.
But he first did that, because before
we're doing it today. It's 2025. We're doing it. We're doing it.
The effects of what he's done in the past with the war on drugs, Tulsa, Rosewood, the lack of money, lack of generational wealth is impacting.
So what are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? What are we going to do today? What are we going to do in 2025?
They need to pay us, but I'll be with reparations. Cut the check.
They ain't cutting nobody no check. They ain't cutting nobody no check. What are we going to do today?
They're gonna cut the check, reparations, because brother, that's in my opinion, that's the only way.
They cut a check to the Japanese though. Yeah, the Japanese 4 years during World War II, they cut a check to them. But yeah, God forbid us, 400 years. Yep. But it's all good.
Native Americans we can work today. We can keep looking back to the past.
Brother Nelson. We can keep
I'm sorry.
Brother. Native Americans got a check. Japanese got a check. Certain people that I can't mention for obvious reasons got a check too. But when it comes to black people, no, we can't do it. So brother, they have the money and the means so, and we want that check. Because they're not going to cut a check. They're not going to cut a check. So what are we going to do? They're not going to cut a check. They're not going to cut a check. 500 years, bro. This goes over 500 years, bro. 500 goddamn years. We want
and they're not going to cut a check. So what are you going to do? They're not going to cut a check. So what are you going to do?
And it's over. What are you going to do? It's over.
No, so it's not over. No, so it's not over. So that means we work together and we work even better, because they're not going to cut you a check. Plain and simple. So keep holding your breath. They're not going to cut you a check. And they ain't cutting me no check either. Reality is, what are we going to do? That's the question.
But so let me ask this, right? Where would the money come from? Because once again, right, so we go into corporate America, right? They don't even pay us as much as white people do. They don't promote us as well, right? So we ain't got enough money to even invest in these assets that you talk about. For most black people, speaking of black people, it's like everywhere we go to left, right, there's always a goddamn war, bro. There's always a goddamn sin. So we can't get a check, can't get reparations. I'll be working your companies, right? You won't promote us. You won't pay us like white people do. So, brother, I mean, we ain't winning, bro. We ain't winning, bro.
I'm winning, and I'm winning with the people. I'm galvanizing and mobilizing. Not going to check. Not going to cut you a check. So then you know what we're always going to lose.
Happy for you, brother.
Come on.
Brother, you winning?
Huh?
You winning, brother? Happy for you, brother? Happy for you. You're winning, right?
Absolutely.
As a collective, brother, as a collective, we're losing, bro. As a collective, brother. As a collective,
As
we're
a
losing.
collective, and that's why what we need to do is come together and figure a solution. But we must get off of the past and start looking towards the future. They're not going to cut you a check. The Buddha said, the poison arrow. The man shoots the poison arrow in another. Before you pull it out, are you going to ask where it came from? What poison is on it? He said, pull the poison arrow out. Start healing immediately. Immediately.
These are great words, right, brother? But there's a system, a structural system that is keeping us down, and I'm not going to fall back on that. I've seen it, I experience it, my friends experience it. There's a system that stops us from promotions, getting really great jobs, getting access to wealth, access to these great loans with low interest, brother. There's a system. Let's keep it
That's a false analogy, by the way. That's a false analogy because the real analogy, the whole Buddhist analogy with the whole arrow thing, the real analogy would be, hey, brother, there's a poison arrow that's being shot into you, right? You're saying, oh, take it out. But no, they keep shooting poison arrows at you. They keep shooting. So you got to figure out, okay, how am I supposed to avoid getting these poison arrows shot at me? And then we can focus on healing. Because you're pretending like we don't experience racism to this day. We do, to this day.
Okay. I guess you're right. We experience racism too. I'm not going to argue against it. You're right.
Honestly, bro, I was done arguing with you when you said, I don't believe in the hood. Like, I was never grew up in the hood because I didn't believe in the hood. Okay, great for you, brother. Do well. You know what I mean? I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm generally happy that you're doing well as a brother. I'm generally happy. But, you know, I really don't like when I see brothers like this where they do well and they think, oh, because I made it out, why can't everyone make it out? Like, it's
There you go again with this BS. I never said that. You see, what you're doing is the old flim flam boom bam bullshit. I never said that. Okay, I never said that. What I said to you was, here we are today. What the bloody hell are we gonna do? Okay, either we're gonna sit back and racism, or we're gonna get our heads together and start doing something. Because they ain't giving you no goddamn check. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, wishful thinking. What we gotta do. That's right. They ain't giving you no check. It ain't gonna happen. Bro.
Even when we come together, right? If we really want that major power, right? They hold the keys, and
what you don't need is major power. What we need is competency. It's not power. Competency is what we need. We need competent men.
Power is everything in this world. But as I'm getting older, hold on, right? Power, right? Gives you leverage, and it stops people from disrespecting you and exploiting you. The reason why we get exploited and disrespected is because we have no power. For example, brother, right?
We don't have the competency.
Hold on, brother, right? Now, let's talk about the unfortunate death of George Floyd a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Show me the Arab, Chinese equivalent or Indian equivalent of his death in the US, bro. But we know the whites who run the US, right, also don't like those other groups of people. But why is it only us that always target all the time? Because we have no power. Right.
Wait a second.
Hold on. I ain't finished, bruv. Now,
sorry.
Who has power in the US? We know at the top of the food chain, right, is white people, right? But Chinese people also have power, and they have the country of China backing them, brother. Right. So what does that mean? They have a strong economy with great companies. You know, a couple nukes backing Chinese people in America. So white Americans really can't screw over Chinese people like that. You know why, brother? They have power. When you have power in this world,
my brother, let me just say something to you. A powerful king with no competency will lose his throne. What we need is competency. Any person who's not competent will lose his throne. The emperor will lose his throne if he's not competent. And so when we promote competency, we become a better and stronger people. That's what we need to promote.
Can you tell me how we're
competency?
Can you tell me how we're incompetent?
I did not say we're hold on. You see, I did not say we're incompetent.
You're implying that when you say that. Of course, you didn't say that. That's like me saying, dude, you're implying it. Like.
No, I did not imply it. Stop putting words in this Negro's mouth. I said what we need to focus on is competency, not power.
Why would we need to focus on it if we're already competent? Explain that.
Why?
It's like, bro, this brother's funny, man.
I'm funny. So let me ask you a question. So there's a level to competency? Is that not that we become better every day? 1%
Okay.
better every day.
Tell us what we need to get better at, in your honest opinion, then.
Okay, thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. What we need to get better at, get better at is communication, conversation, conversing. What we need to get better at is putting God in our homes and keeping with our families. What we need to get better at is teaching our children financial growth and responsibility with their money. We spend more money in this country than anyone, but we spend it in everyone else's neighborhood and community. We don't put it back in our own. You go to the hood and you see what happens. You let the Chinese man come in there and open a liquor store and everything else, but you don't push him out. You don't push him out. And then somebody's going to say, well, you can't get the loan to do this. Oh, really? So you mean collective bargaining can't open a store? I don't buy it, bro. And I think we need to stop selling this hogwash BS. We could do better. And I'm not going to get left behind in that boat where everybody thinks this is going to stop me. And that ain't a goddamn thing stopping this man. Nothing. No white man, black man, Chinese man, Puerto Rican man, or midget. It ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen. I was in Chicago recently and did a big thing with with the Crips and Bloods and brought them together. Why y'all shooting each other? The white man making you do it? No, ain't no white man making me do it. I don't like this nigga. So why are we blaming him? First thing we need to do is put the guns down. How about that? Put the guns down. Learn to communicate with your brethren. Because you hate him so much you want to kill him? Come on now.
So
that's what I'm saying.
So 2 points here, right? Okay. So the way I like those points we talk about, financial teaching, all that stuff, right? Which comes to family, right? Dad and mom go teach their children, right? But who's responsible for breaking up the black family in the first place? And the effects of it.
Okay. Here's the thing. And I'll answer that question. Here's the thing. I don't care who did it. I know we need to work better today. That's what I know. I know that we need to do better today, because if I keep worrying about who did it, I'm not going to correct it. I need to first figure out what we must do together today, because it's a thorn in our heel, and it's always going to hold us back. It's the pebble in the shoe. Pull it out. What we need to do.
But Nelson, we can't ignore generational trauma, and we can't ignore generational mishappenings. Because if things have happened for a long time in your family lineage, like for example, Bloods and Crips, right? Again, I could blame the white man for that, because the white man purposely made black neighborhoods in Chicago disenfranchised in LA, and this is how black people go into gangs, make money, etc., etc. So, basically, I'm saying that everything wrong in our lives, right, boils down to what white people have done in the past, and they need to, and to an extent, that they need to actually address it. And that means giving us money, because I don't know why they run away.
So what you're telling me, when a Crip takes an AK-47 to another brother's head, he's thinking about what the white man did. That's what he's thinking. That's really what he's thinking.
Dude, that doesn't matter. Oh my God!
This is crazy.
Any word use, brother. But so I know you're new on this channel. We don't say the N word, Nelson. So now I'm saying, brother, right? Like, the fact that I even got to that point of a brother putting a gun to another brother, right? What's the history behind that?
Here's the history behind it. He's 22 years old. He knew better, and he's shooting his own brother. Frankly, screw the history. Don't kill him. That's the point. Fine. Something happened 400 years ago. Guess what? Happened yesterday. Guess what? Don't kill your brother. Point blank shooting.
White people made black people hate other black people. Let's keep it a buck. I will stand on that hill, bro, because the colorism came from white people, tribalism came from white people. If I'm honest with you, Africans versus Caribbeans versus Black Americans came from white people. They have put us against each other since the very day they stepped foot in Africa.
Okay, so now we know that. Why don't we fix it? So now we know that. Why are we still killing each other? We know what they did because they dislike you. So that means you're going to pick up the gun and shoot him. They screwed you, so you're going to screw the next one. Does that even make sense? Does that even make any logical sense?
If you look at stats, bro, right? Most people kill within their own race. So within white neighborhoods, It'll be white people leaning over white people. Now, it just happens to be in black neighborhoods, you have Bloods and Crips who are mostly black gang members, fighting for territory or whatever. They are going to delete each other. But that's just how neighborhoods and gangs work. Most people of their own race kill each other. Now, who's responsible for the creation of Bloods and Crips in the first place? We must look at the past to see
how history is.
Right?
Don't let me
So,
go to the history.
white man has purposely not funded black schools, left black neighborhoods destitute. So you have a bunch of black people who are making no money, who are poor, living in poverty, who are starving. What are they gonna do, bro?
But brethren, 50 years ago, the black family wasn't broken up the way it is today. And we have history. We understand what happened. So now what we've got to do.
No, can you tell me? Can you tell me what happened? Because IP asked you that question. You scared by that. So can you tell me what happened? Because I'm not sure we do understand what happened. Can you tell me what happened 50 years ago? Why it was different versus today? I want to hear your take on this.
Well, there's a plethora of reasons why. There's a great number of reasons why. There's a whole lot of reasons why. Right? I could go on for days with it. The reality is, what are we going to do? That's the question.
You're never going to answer that. Dude, I peeped this. You're never going to answer. I just wanted to make it clear that you wouldn't answer that. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Look, I understand that the past is the past. We're always going to focus on it. We always going to focus on the past. The question is, what are we going to do today? What we need to stop doing is treating our women like bitches. Excuse my language. Treating them in such a way, treating them poorly. That's one of the first things we have to do. We need to have we need to do father with daughter meetings where fathers can educate their children, open up financial literacy courses. This is how we break generational wealth, the impediment of a generational wealth. This is how we break it. We first start studying the markets, teaching each other that. My daughter's 12 years old and she trades stocks today. She can trade options too. I had to teach it to her. Who taught it to me? I had to teach it myself. And then I went around and I taught her little friends. Nobody gave it to me.
You're a great father, right? But the average black person isn't in a position to be doing what you're doing, bro. Let's keep it a buck.
I'm not special. Brother, I'm not special. I moved myself to do it. Nobody taught me. I taught myself. Not a soul taught me. No one. I had to do it. I first had to realize, wait, if you set these markets up for me not to understand, then I'm going to understand it. Let me say something to you. I said to you, the triangular slave trade started well by the Portuguese, right? Pope Innocent and King Henry the Navigator. When you go to the South Street Seaport, you're going to see some boats over there. Why are those ships still over there? Well, because that's where the slaves were brought in. Enslaved people were brought in, excuse me. And then they marched them up to Wall Street and they started trading black people. That's why when you have candlesticks, you call them white bodies and black bodies. The first slave trade auction was where Wall Street is. Well, now I know that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to eradicate my thinking of the past and I'm going to fix the future. I'm then going to know what they had done. I'm going to learn it and I'm going to teach us how to make ourselves better. I'm not saying that oppression does not exist. I am not saying that. I'm only saying that we cannot keep going on and on and on like a broken record about racism. Rather, what can we do? That's the question. Because in 2039, we will still be talking racism. And it's going to get us nowhere. That's all I'm saying to you, brethren.
Yeah, I got another caller, right? Let me CQS. Can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll?
Yes.
Yeah, we confirmed. Thank you. Turn your camera off. Let me bring in CQS in the background. What's going on, bro? You good?
Hey, yo, what's going on, fellas? IP man, first and foremost, thank you for everything you do. Guys, I want the floor for a quick moment. Please, nobody interrupt me. Please don't cut me off. I just need a little moment here. So y'all can cuss me out, do whatever you want to do after we jump off this call, but I agree with Nelson. I think we played the victim card way too much. Don't get me wrong, whites have oppressed us. They have done a lot. They have done a lot, and they still continue to do things to this day. But guess what, fellas? I worked my ass off to get to a point to where I finally make a little over six figures, which is honestly not enough in this economy. but I'm doing everything I can with the funds that I have to start my own business. The key to it is to start our own businesses, even if we have to move slowly in order to progress those businesses and get those businesses going. IP, as intelligent as you and Theo are, the two of you could come together, write a book on IT basics, publish it, make money off of it, and then from there, create other businesses, hire more Black men that look like you, and then the money is circulating. I know I just made it sound so easy and simple, but the key to it is we have to do everything we can with the money that we make from the corporations to take it and implement it and start our own businesses. And, you know, the guy with the letter S on his name, I really wish you would stop screaming at Nelson, bro. Like, it's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay. We're all making valid points here, but Nelson is right. At some point, we got to get out of the victim mentality. Thank you guys so much, man. Much love to y'all.
Brother, much love to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May the Lord continue to bless you and your mind. And what you gave them, that advice that you had given them was superb, was eloquent, was transitional.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, Nelson, but God bless you as well, brother. Like I at least have enough common sense to know that these white folks are only going to let me go so far in the corporate world. So
Absolutely.
I got to take the money that I'm making and start a business. And guess what? Even if it takes me 10, 15 years to break 6 figures with my business, the goal is to start something and keep going until I no longer have to work for anybody again. And then once I get to that point, I can hire people who look like me instead of sitting back and complaining about the situation. I understand that everybody may not want to start their own business. Some people want to work for corporations. Some people want to retire. That is okay too. But when we talk about how we're going to move the needle in the Black community and how we're going to make things better for ourselves, the key to it is starting businesses and being diligent, even if it takes time. You utilize patience, exercise strength. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to hog up the show. God bless you all. I'm out.
Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you.
Yeah, I know math isn't that our strongest suit in the community. I can tell because it just sounds like people are like, "Oh, I made it, so if I made it, why not? Why can't everyone else make it?" It's like, bro, it's harder if the bar is higher for black people in general than for people of another race. Then necessarily that means that less of us are going to make it. And then you're just saying, well, just be better or just do this, do that, dude. Everyone knows, IP knows. I guess we're all doing well financially here. We're all doing well. I've done very well for myself, right? And giving back in ways that I know that I have. But what I'm saying is that when people are saying, they just think, oh, I made it, so therefore, everyone can make it. It's like, no, dude, the bar for Black men is higher. So necessarily because the bar is higher, that means necessarily less of us are going to make it. And we already don't have generational wealth. And we already have to do better than people of other races in order to just be given a shot. See, if all these things working against us and just acknowledging that fact, I mean, we've already done it. I mean, IP's an IT bro. I'm an IT bro, right? Just us acknowledging the fact that we had hurdles that we had to go over, that other people didn't have to go over. Just acknowledging the fact that while I was in college, I had to work a full-time job while studying engineering, while my white counterparts didn't have to do that because they had their parents paying for them. Then that's an issue. Like, I just acknowledge that.
So brother, with the utmost love, what's next? That's the question that Nelson is proposing. And I am so proud of you, brother, with the S word in your logo. I don't know your name, but I'm proud of you that you were able to make it out and that you're doing well for yourself. The question that our brother Nelson is proposing is, now that you have made it, what is the next step? What are you going to do when it comes to elevating yourself? What are you going to do when it comes to putting brothers who look like you in the position so that they can also have a fighting chance like you as well? This is what Nelson is proposing. We are not undermining the fact that we have all of these strikes against us. We're not undermining the fact that it's harder for us as Blacks, but just how you made it. You obviously were given the grace and the courage by God to make it. You have God's favor. You made it. So what's next? What are you going to do to utilize the funds, the wealth, the knowledge, the expertise, the power that you have, because whether you believe it or not, you have power. You've accumulated some finances. What are you going to do with it?
No, but see, this is where you and I disagree. This is where we just completely disagree, because we are doing that. I mean, what is this? What is this? I mean, what is this live for? Well, I mean, what did the IP been doing for the past 8 years? What I've been doing in my own time in the past, 7 so years. Like, we have been doing that. What we're saying is we're just acknowledging, right, the problems and the hurdles we had to overcome. We can't do both. You act like you can only do one or the other. Like, the problem I have with Nelson is that he won't acknowledge, right, the racism and stuff like that we had to deal through, not in the past, but what we deal through to this day, right? Like I said before, you could be a black man, have a high income, have a perfect credit score, and you're still going to have a higher mortgage rate, right, for most banks than a white man with an average income and an average credit score. I mean, if that's not racism, what is? You're literally paying more because of your skin color. So, like, when you say us acknowledging these hurdles and devising strategies on how to navigate these hurdles isn't us being victims. It's us acknowledging reality, right, and understanding, okay, this is what we're gonna have to do in order to navigate through these situations. But you guys want to. It sounds like what you guys are saying is you guys just want to ignore, because, like I said, this is our President Nelson. You won't even say the word racism.
No, brother, we don't want you to. No, brother, we don't want you to ignore. We don't want you to ignore anything. The only thing that I'm saying here is check this out. Again, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but this energy that we're putting into this video call, debating with one another, you and Nelson could have booked a 45-minute conference call probably sometime next week to discuss a business venture or an idea. The point that Nelson is making is this energy that we're putting towards talking about the issue. We can be putting even more energy towards the solution. And I know and I understand IP is coming with the solution. Theo is coming with the solution. But this back and forth, brother, is really no need for it. Even if we have a difference of opinion, it's no need for it.
That's right.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in here? Thanks for calling in.
Let me just say one thing. Just one thing. So anybody listening, as I said, we spoke about generational wealth. Here's what you do, to everyone out there: go online and look at Vanguard. VANGUARD. Your average bank gives you 0.7 interest. Vanguard gives you 3.65. 3.65, a total percentage return of a specific Vanguard ETF fund. So anybody listening to this, take your money out of your regular bank, go to Vanguard, open up a custodial account for your children. Put whatever amount of money you can in there. And that's how you begin with generational wealth. This is what the brother was just saying. How do we move forward? We all know the problems. We all live the problems. The reality is we have got to mobilize ourselves, like this beautiful man had just said, and we got to do better. That's all I'm saying.
Last thing I'm going to say to further push the envelope on your point, then I promise to God I'm going to shut the hell up. Nelson, to further add your point, I only had $100. I only had $100 when I opened up my Vanguard account. All I had was $100 to invest in it. But guess what? I was humble enough to understand that that's all I have to work with. But even with that, it has grown exponentially because over time you invest little by little, and you work and you work and you work until you can get to where you want to be. God bless you, brothers.
God bless you. And I want to say this for anyone else listening. Just one other thing, just if I may. Go on YouTube, YOUTUBE. Put in Trader Talks, TRADERTALKS. You're going to see option trading on there. It's a live option trading course every single day. Every day, free of charge. No one charges you. All you have to do is open a Charles Schwab account and download Think or Swim. That's how you get your money into the stock markets. From there, generational wealth will be a thing of the future and of the present. That's all I have to say.
All right, let me come in here, right? So comment here says black entrepreneurs struggle to get investors. This has been written about a lot. That's a great point there. So I like to think big, right? So everyone's talking about businesses, which is great, right? Now, ideally, I'd like to see, obviously, a black man create his own an Instagram, a Facebook, a Nvidia, a Tesla, etc., right? However, to get the money to make that, right, you got to get it from somewhere, and that comes from like venture capitalist funds. Now, I've looked at stats, right, over the past couple of years, right? Black men hardly get any funding from venture capitalists. So before you say anything else, right? So let's say you need 20 million, right, to for you to formulate an idea. You have great products. You know for a fact that it will sell. It could be the next Instagram, Facebook, right? Where are you going to get that 20 million from, knowing that these venture capitalist funds exist? They won't give it to a black man, but if you're a white guy, they'll happily give it to you. That's my point there.
I can answer that. I can answer that question for you. I can answer that question for you. Please give me just a second, Nelson. So when it comes to me, like I said, I finally got to a point to where I barely make over six figures. It's really not enough in today's economy. But me, for example, I'm a writer. I'm a poet. So that money that I make from my job, when I'm done paying my bills, I take that and I invest in my business. And when it comes to a trademark, when you have your ideas, I want to say it's like maybe $325 to trademark an idea in America. And when you're copywriting something, it could be anywhere between $50 to $100 for a copyright through the USPTO office. I don't need anybody to give me a loan when it comes to the ideas that I have. A trademark is a couple $100. You may get to a point to where they want you to prove what you're going to use the trademark for, or if there is any conflict of discovery when it comes to the trademark, you may have to hire a lawyer. But once you get done with all of that, you invest in drop shipping, put your logo on t-shirts. IP, you've even done that yourself, brother. Like, hire someone to push your product even more online when it comes to generating those sales and those revenues, bro. I'm telling you, it can be done. It may be a slow process, but a steady, slow process is better than no movement at all. We don't need to be in situations to where we're getting $1 million investments like these white men are getting. If we have ideas, we trademark the idea, we copyright the content, same rules apply with the patent. You get that, you get the ball rolling slowly but surely. It doesn't take millions, bro.
Right. And I want to add something to what you just said. Here's the one thing. Even if a man gave you that type of money, first thing is, you have to know economics. You have to understand what accounting is. So my point is, there's another way to build wealth. You open up a life insurance policy. You can borrow against that money. Big time. Now you do that with 5 family members. That's how you start. They're not going to give you the money. Fair enough. They won't. So what do? You do it yourself. That's all I'm saying to you. And the gentleman who's speaking is right. We can sit back and we can complain and it ain't going to do nothing. The reality is we have to do as this gentleman said. We have to do what he said, because that's the way we make ourselves better.
Nelson, let me throw you an olive branch. Let me throw you an olive branch, because I will admit one thing, right? You do know what you're saying about investing and all that stuff like that. You do know, because this is exactly what I do, right? So what you're talking about, that's absolute facts. I'm not a big fan of Charles Schwab. Before that, TD Ameritrade, but they bought that out. So I moved to a different brokerage, but whatever, right? You do definitely know what you're talking about when it comes to investing, life insurance policies, all that. That is actually genuinely good advice, right? But what you and the other brother, I don't know, the brother, the G, right? I don't know what you both are saying, right? I feel like I'm being gassed at right now, because the issue isn't about us talking about, or at least this is not what we're saying. Like, we're not talking about like how to move forward. I mean, the part of the reason why we have this the live stream is to talk about methods of moving forward and what to do and all this stuff like that. So I mean, I don't think that is the issue, right? My issue with y'all, well, you specifically, Nelson, because I don't think G's actually said this, right? My issue is that you won't even acknowledge, right, that we have racism to overcome. Now, you call everything else, you call it prejudice, you call it oppression, you call everything else except racism. You don't call it that, right? Now, whatever, fine, whatever you want to call it, right? That's something that we have to overcome that other people don't. And when you say it can be done, of course it can be done. We're talking to 4 brothers right here who have done that. Okay, I believe all 4 brothers here makes over 6 figures, or at least over 6 figures. So of course it can be done. But what I'm saying is that if it's harder for it to be done, that means that less brothers are going to be able to do that. If it's easier right, for a white person to overcome, right, than it is for a black person to overcome, right, then obviously less black people are going to be able to overcome than their white counterparts. We're not saying that it can't be done. And then here's one last thing I'll say, because this is something that I slightly agree with, I slightly disagree with IP about, right? Yeah, I agree. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here, right? I agree with you, Nelson, in the sense that we're not going to get the check. I'm not saying you shouldn't fight for it. Right? Because, maybe, who knows, you might get lucky, you might get the check. I'm not saying you shouldn't fight for it, but I agree that it's a dog-eat-dog world. We just lost, you know what I mean? We lost in that sense. So we're gonna, no one's going to give you nothing in life, right? So you have to fight for everything you had, right? I agree with that sense. I agree in the sense of that we're not going to just be given stuff. All right, you can make arguments all you want. You can make all the pleas all you want. You can make all the sound arguments all you want. Right? They're the ones who have the power. If they say no, there's really nothing we can do about it. So what we have to do is work on conserving power, so that we can be the ones to say no and all that stuff. Right? I agree with you on that aspect. But what I don't, or what I really don't, or dislike, right, is particularly with you, Nelson, right, is you won't, from what I feel, okay, I'm not gonna say I know, but from what I feel, is you won't acknowledge, right, the racism that has happened in the past. For example, with the family, like you're talking about, generational wealth. Part of the reason why this channel exists, the Patchwork channel, it's because at least I'll speak for myself personally, I'm not confident that I can build something with an American black woman. Right, because she has all the power. I marry her, right? Then she can call the white daddy, right? Anytime there's a problem and screw things up. And that's all happened because of the Great Society program, Lyndon B. Johnson, all that stuff like that. That all happened there. So if I get married, I can make all the money in the world. But if I get married, right, she can use the government to go against me and my children. And I have no power against that. No
Yes,
power.
you do. Let me say something. Let me say something very important. You do have.
Hold on there, sir. Hold on there, Nelson. Right, brothers. I want everyone on kick. Right. Let's move on to kick, because things are gonna get a bit heated. I gotta crash out for a bit. Because there's some topics where I need to just let my mind go through. I'm gonna swear a bit. So I want everyone on kick in the next 2 minutes. We're gonna end the stream on YouTube. I will go on kick. And we're gonna crash out on there because I'm a bit perplexed with some comments I've heard so far on the stream. I gotta crash out for a bit, so I want everyone on kick in the next 2 to 3 minutes. So carry on there, Nelson. Fire away, bro.
All I wanted to say to him was that, look, racism exists, okay? That's what you want me to say? It exists. There's prejudice, there's discrimination, there's antagonism. All of these things exist. In the world, it exists. It exists against black people, and it exists against many other people. The reality is we know that. So I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. The thing is, what G said was actually correct. And you said you have no power. Let me say something to you. I'm a Christian. I believe that Jesus and God were right. The power lays in you. Pray to God and use your head, because nobody has any power over you other than what you have in your mind. That's all I have to say.
I need to rebut that. Everyone on kick right now. Hold on there, because I disagree with that, bro. Honestly.
I don't know what that is.
Let me end the stream on Facebook. You find me on kick. I need to crash out for a bit. Oh my goodness, man. Nelson, I disagree with a lot of what you're saying, bro. I'm honest with you. Let me end the stream on Rumble, okay? And let me end the stream.
I don't know how to do it.
No, just stay on here. Just stay on here. It's cool. Let me end the stream on YouTube.